On this new moon and Cancer episode of Spelling the HEKA-TEA with Marcus and Evan, as always, we have Witchcraft in the news.
Followed by Astrology, Mixology.
Then it's our main topic. Leave me lying here, because I don't want to call the quarters. Witchcraft, ritual, and feeling burnt out.
We also have our Chilling Adventures of Sabrina rewatch.
Followed by SpellCraft. And then lastly, with Witchy Media review, we have the Tale of The Quicksilver from the 1990s Nickelodeon anthology series, Are You Afraid of the Dark? All this and more on Spelling the HEKA-TEA with Marcus and Evan. Join us!
You should keep your head up and see the good. And every day you're struggling. You gotta let that sun shine in. Even on a cloudy day, the sun's away. You feel the pain and tears are gonna falling down. It picks you up, it's all around.
Witches, blessed new moon in Cancer, and welcome to an all-new episode of Spelling the HEKA-TEA with Marcus and Evan. I am Marcus James, author, activist, witch, and horrifically offensive and very defiant homosexual.
You are horrifically offensive.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I am Evan. I am a witch, a legal assistant, a fiction editor, and a big old lipstick leslie.
If you are new here, welcome. We drop episodes every new moon and full moon right here on YouTube. If you are a returning champion, as we like to call you, welcome back. We are so grateful to have you. As usual, if you are new or a returning champ, if you like what you see, you like the show, then the best thing, the most magical, wonderful thing you can do for us is to like, comment, subscribe, hype, and share, and help us to continue to build this wonderful, magical, fantabulous, baneful, and blessed coven right here in our corner of the circle.
Where we are two homos, one cauldron, and it is a spellbindingly good time.
Abso-fucking-lutely, rootin' tooty, fresh and fruity. So, 4th of July, come and gone.
Yes.
Magic.
Woo! Fireworks.
Yes, not much to report on that weekend in itself for a variety of reasons.
Yes.
But one thing that I will say that is amazing and awesome, and that we have talked about many times on this show, and we will now because they are in our custody, will later down the road, probably if not in season 2, given the fact that the season's almost over, in season 3. But what could it be, folks? We have To Ride a Silver Broomstick, New Generation Witchcraft by Silver Raven Wolf, published in 1993. Love this fucking cover. It is so magical and sickening. And then, if that's not enough, we have the follow-up from 1995, To Stir a Magic Cauldron, A Witch's Guide to Casting and Conjuring by Silver Raven Wolf. Of course, the last in this is To Light a Sacred Flame, and those make the first 3 of what I really believe are Silver Raven Wolf's most seminal works before she got really trendy, I guess, back in the day. For all of you old school pagans, witches, Wiccans, etc., you know what I'm talking about if you were there. So really looking forward to dive into the 2 of these books. I cannot believe it. Yes, you could go out and still find them, but they have all new covers now. And these are the covers that I grew up with and that I love. And yes, it is Wiccan. It's very Wiccan. I did open and skim through. It's been a long time since I've looked at these 2 books. And yes, it's very Wiccan. For good and bad. And also for the hilarious, really. But we are going to dive into them. We are going to read them both and highlight the things that we like, things we don't like, things we think are silly or outdated, whatever. Things that maybe you didn't realize were questionable then, but maybe are questionable now. And so, yeah, probably, honestly, realistically, that's going to be a season 3 thing. Because we're going to each have to reread. Well, Evan hasn't read either.
I have not read them.
I have not read either in a very long time. So we're going to read them both and do our notes and then discuss. So, but very, very excited. As you know, we've been talking about these books for a while. And we reference Silver a lot. And yeah, so very excited about that. Otherwise, it's time for Witchcraft in the News. And Evan to kick us off.
I will, as you did the honors the last time.
I did do those honors. I did do the do.
Okay, so we are jumping right in with a big Christian bucket of chicken crazy.
Oh, fun.
Yes. So this is about a church out of Tennessee, as so many of them are.
Yes.
Who is using its charisma to turn culture wars into a very real battlefield where Satan is active in public life.
Oh, fun.
And Christians are called in to fight back through prayer, prophecy, and political engagement.
Ooh.
Yes. So this is Andrea and Mike Brewer. They are the founders of The Well.
The Well.
Samara down there.
Right. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl.
7 days, right?
Anyway, so that is the name of their church. Jokes aside, it's called The Well, which sounds like a pretty apropos name for a Christian church to me.
It does.
Anyway, so they promote their belief that Earth is the battlefield on which heaven and hell fight.
Wonderful.
Yes. Mike Brewer tells his story about his addiction to adult videos.
Yes.
Apparently, while praying, he heard voices calling to him and felt what he believes was a demon being removed by God and replaced with the Holy Spirit. And that's how he came to the Lord.
Damn that masturbation.
I know, right? Which is a whole other topic that I could talk on, but we're not going to, because we don't have time to get into all that. But
no, that could be its own fucking thing.
It really could. Anyway, so he and Andrea came to believe that God was unleashing new signs and wonders and raising modern day apostles and prophets, including, of course, the two of them.
Oh, of course. Of course. Everyone's a voice for deity on earth.
Exactly, of course. So they belong to a group of ministries called Global Awakening. Yeah. And Andrea has begun, quote, studying demon history and hierarchies.
Okay.
So then they started a demon hunt, finding it at a local bookshop and cafe.
Oh, okay.
The owner discovered that the Brewers were accusing her of demonic activity when a customer flagged it.
Okay. I'm not liking where this is going.
No. Which, of course, so happens to just be across the street from the Brewers' new church.
Oh my, wonders never cease. Miracles happening in real time, folks.
Exactly. So Mike Brewer released several videos of himself sitting behind a desk, and he explained in a calm and methodical manner, quote, that the bookstore had been identified as a regional demonic stronghold. Always about that stronghold, guys.
A regional, what is this Risk? Is this a game of Risk? Like, is this a board? Like, is this Battleship? Like, G7, you sunk my battleship. Like, regional strongholds, the enemy.
I know.
Okay.
They really do think they're so cool.
They really do. It's so pick-me.
It is.
So pick-me.
So speaking, it's going to get a little more pick-me. Of course, Lilith was involved in this whole rant.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
The bookstore was being targeted for something that he called strategic level spiritual warfare, the goal of which was to remove the enemy.
Okay.
And apparently he ranted about Lilith during this whole...
I see.
Yeah.
Is she, made the bookstore her headquarters?
Apparently.
Her war room?
I don't know, maybe she really likes to cozy up and read. I don't know.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh gosh. Okay. So the owner of the bookstore, Mizowski, Lisa Mizowski, was born in the town. She is a Catholic.
Okay.
So there's that.
Right.
She is a Democrat and also she is gay.
Oh, well, That answers everything as to why she was targeted.
Yeah, exactly. They did not first approach her or help to conduct their own blessing. They simply just went to war on her.
Right. They fucking doxed her online and publicly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Cute look, guys.
Yeah, very, very much. Now, of course, these are the same sentiments that are being echoed from our current president, of course. His ally, Steve Bannon, called Lutheran and Catholic people helping immigrants demonic, as well as Vice President J.D. Vance said that he thinks aliens and UFOs are actually demons.
Yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
One FEMA official claimed that he was transported through time and space to a Waffle House.
Yes.
Yeah. And these are
this happened.
Yes.
These are the people in charge
these are the
right
people
now.
in power, yes. So, of course, in that beginning moment, Mazoski was simply wondering what the accusations meant for her bookstore and the people who went there.
Of course. Safety first.
Exactly.
And your bottom line, your dollar.
Exactly. What precisely was demonic about Southland? Was it the Mahjong? The romanticy section? Her drag performer? Her herself? A lot of questions filtering around. So she looked up her own demonology for answers and to prepare for what she could expect. A group known as the New Apostolic Reformation, whom we have talked about on this show before, has devised its own end times narrative where they believe that the Bible's tales of an afterlife are wrong and that they are supposed to build their own heaven on earth while they await the return of Jesus Christ.
These are the people connected to Donald Trump's spiritual advisor. That crazy back case, Shalama Lama Lula.
Yes, Paula White.
Yes. Angels from Africa right now. Angels from Africa right now. Angels from Africa. Short circuit. Yeah, her. Yeah. They were connected. Yeah. Yes. So, yay for the world.
So, of course, the political goals of the MAGA movement are just kind of all over this.
Everywhere.
Yes, all up on this. Now, of course, it's a little bit just troubling that churches are no longer a place of peace with this political situation, but are now a war room. There are maps, battle themes, and prayers that focus on victory over evil type of language.
Which honestly is nothing new.
No.
What's driving me crazy is when we come across these reports, these articles talking about what's going on now, they act like it's like a new thing that's just occurred in recent years.
No.
This war drum has been beating in the evangelical Protestant fucking churches and these for decades. And any one of you watching who've grown up in this, who know the fundamentalist Christian movements, like in all their various denominations and forms and non-denominational forms, knows that this is the rhetoric and the language and the war drum that has been banged on for decades.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Do you know why they're doing it? It's because it's the PR to still protect real Christianity. By they're now saying, oh, this is new, this Christian nationalism and this war drum language, and this is new and Trumpian and blah blah blah. And this isn't like regular Christianity because they're still trying to protect Christianity. Right. But no, we all know this has always been a part of Christianity, especially American Christianity, especially American non-denominational Protestant evangelical Christianity. It's Southern Baptist movement. It's the fucking snake handling. It's all of it. It's all there. It's always been there.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that story is a hot garbage fire, but as is the state of the world.
Yes. Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right, on to Turkey. New evidence could rewrite history of a mysterious ancient mountaintop temple.
Ooh.
Little hint, one of the indicators could be the number of dog burials in the area.
Oh.
So the long-known small temple in southwestern Turkey is now being re-examined more than a century after it was first discovered upon the mountaintop. The temple, which was excavated originally in 1912, was labeled probably Demeter's. But it looks like that is not the situation. So now researchers claim that the evidence in the temple actually points to HEKA-TEA, a goddess obviously linked with the nighttime crossroads, the underworld, witchcraft, and other things that people aren't usually aware of when talking about her, like being the fact that she is an ancient primordial earth, all-encompassing goddess. But
the two of them do get conflated pretty often.
They do, because of the whole Eleusinian mystery and let's help your daughter figured her shit out, and the fact that really they're just archetypes of her, whatever. Anyways, we're not going to get into that.
We already did.
Right, and of course dogs. Ancientists and archaeology news outlet reporting. So the reinterpretation depends mostly upon the figurines and reliefs that are linked to HEKA-TEA that have now surfaced in both the early digs and more recent excavations. So, as we know, she has confirmed sanctuaries in many places. One of the largest being in Anatolia, and her sanctuary in Legina. So there are a number of dog burials in the area. And architectural blocks from the damaged temple remain around the structure. Archaeologists do believe that parts of it could potentially be restored as further study continues. If the reinterpretation is true, it could reshape historians' understanding of religious life in the Turkish region. The Men Sanctuary was already recognized as an important center of worship for men, a moon deity honored across the Mene. It's Mene, which is another epithet of HEKA-TEA. So the Mene Sanctuary was already recognized as an important center of worship for Mene, a moon deity honored around Pisidia, Sardia, and nearby regions.
Did they just spell it M-E-N?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why it took me a second. I was like, the men and the moon. I was like, Mene, HEKA-TEA Mene, HEKA-TEA moon. That's why there's HEKA-TEA. It's the same deity, you idiots. Sorry.
It's okay.
I only briefly skimmed through this, and because, exhaustion and being worn out, burnt out. So I didn't get a chance to really read through this to see that, okay, yeah. So adding her to the setting suggests the sanctuary may have supported a more complex spiritual landscape than archaeologists and scholars have previously understood. What they're seeming to miss is the fact that it's literally the same deity. So all it does is reveal not a complexity of anything, just an enrichment of how devoted to HEKA-TEA the region was. That's it. There were temples and sanctuaries to her different epithets throughout the region, clearly, which that's all that shows. So anyway, yay!
Yay!
Your turn.
Okay. Hecka yay!
Hecka yay, not hecka nay.
So we are taking a little trip to Brazil.
Ooh.
To kind of delve into the world of Brazilian witches. So Brazilian witches just had a recent festival to honor the solstice on June 21st, which for them is the winter solstice, as they are in the opposing hemisphere from where we are located. So it is the longest night of the year when they celebrate Yule, and it's one of the many, of course, important sacred dates. So Fabio Stern, a scholar of religion who holds a doctorate in the field, he said of this festival, witchcraft today is configured as a new religion. Modern witches have their own systems of beliefs, practices, myths, values, and rituals, which, you wouldn't think that this would be something that would bear the explanation.
And yet it does.
But yet, time and again.
Because people only have one notion of witchcraft, maybe two, and that's white witches and black witches, light witches, dark witches, Satanists and Wiccans.
Yes. So he further explained that there are people who identify as witches from religious associations, gather with their rituals, and pay taxes like any other citizens. I mean, wish we didn't have to.
I know. I was like, unfortunately.
Right? Recognizing the legitimacy of a witch who belongs to the group and who does not, he says, is up to the group itself, just as only Christians can recognize their peers and what does or does not count as Christianity. He said those on the outside may not believe in witchcraft, but they have an obligation to respect it. They sure do. But do they always? No, they do not. Now, in search of said respect, Brazilian witches organized and founded the Brazilian Witchcraft Association in 2017, which is chaired by Tania Gori. She said the word witch carries many historical stigmas, especially those tied to fear, persecution, and misunderstanding of the feminine nature and popular knowledge. That is why an important part of my work is to precisely give new meaning to that image. To me, being a witch is much more closely related to awareness, knowledge, and the connection with natural cycles of life than to the fantasy created by the popular imagination. Which, absolutely, I think there is such an fantasticization of witchcraft in a lot of pop culture.
While I agree, obviously. I'm not a fan of sparkles.
No.
I'm looking at you, the craft legacy, which we will do for the show. But I also have an issue when that makes me think of the episode of Buffy, when in season 4, when they're in college, and in Hush, actually, and before everyone loses their voices, and Willow is at that Wicca.
Oh my gosh,
group,
yes.
And her and Tara are connecting for the first time, and they're talking about a bake sale.
Yes.
The full moon, lunar, Diana bake sale or whatever, and it's all this shit. And then Willow's like, this is all great and all, like, love the bake sale, love worshiping the goddess under the moon, totally cool. But like, when are we gonna do spells?
Yeah.
Like, when are we gonna do glamours? You know, glamours, make things levitate, contact spirit, like blah, blah, like do witchy shit, like actual, like the cool fucking fantastical shit that we know does happen in witchcraft. Actual fucking magic. Things we can't account for, supernatural, preternatural type shit that occurs, and sacred synchronicities and all that fucking shit, right? And knowing that we, you know, a rainstorm comes and we know we're the reason we made it happen, like, and you just innately know and feel like it was your witchcraft and you summoned it, or maybe you did a spell for the weather to make it rain and then it happened, and you know, like, you're like, oh shit, like that. And Willow is like, okay, yeah, all this witch shit, and the girls are like, yeah, what next? We're gonna hop on our brooms and fly, or maybe grow a long pointy nose with a wart. God, Willow, like, you know, the reason we can't legitimize, like, Wicca has such stigma is because people like you perpetuate these horrible fantasy stereotypes or whatever. And she's like, okay, what the fuck? And then that's what she calls them, a bunch of wanna blessed bees.
Yeah.
But like, that quote is what that makes me think of.
Yeah, no, I see that for sure as well. I
agree with I do agree that there's also a fantastical part in media and culture about witches and stigmas that are also fantastical and ridiculous.
Yeah.
And, you know,
so it's
babies,
like I see both sides of what she's saying. Yeah. For sure. But I think it's cool that that this organization was founded, because it's definitely something that witches need. For sure. Agree. Now, here's the part that I don't love so much.
Okay.
Is that they annually put on a convention called the Witches and Wizards Convention, which you could just say the Witches Convention, you know?
Well, there are people who identify as wizards.
There are.
And who I mean, I think it's a silly word.
I do too.
So I just personally am not a fan of the word wizard.
I'm not either.
I'm not a fan of warlock.
Yeah,
but
to me, witch is not a gender-specific term.
No,
and never has been.
But but witch, I think wizard more denotes someone who maybe just practices who practice a magic practitioner.
Yeah.
Maybe they practice Goeticism.
Maybe
they practice Hermeticism. Maybe they're a Lovecraftian. Maybe they're a Luciferian and they practice magic. And so they are not necessarily what they see as what a witch would be. I think a witch, regardless of whether they work with deity, don't work with deities, if they're atheist witches, Catholic, Christian, I think a witch, if you're a witch, you know you're a witch. Yeah, and that word is yours.
Yeah.
And I have met people who flat out are like, I practice magic, I study the occult, I'm pagan, but I'm not a witch. It's not a title that speaks to me, it's not an image that speaks to me, it's not a vibe, an energy, a cloud, a mist that I wrap myself in. It's not, their heart doesn't stir the same as we do if, let's say, we are watching something and a clip from Haxton shows that the witch is flying to the Sabbath, and there's something primal that sparks inside of you. Or if we see a foggy, misty forest, and the image that conjures in our brains is of witches in the mist, or colonial New England setting. It all ties to these images that we have of witches, right? So I think that is why, because I have met people who do identify as wizards.
Yeah.
I personally, my issue with it is it just goes back to, I heard a lot of people be like, boys can't be witches. Either boys are warlocks or boys are wizards.
Yeah. See, that's my issue with it. If you genuinely identify with the term wizard, then let your wizard flag fly. But it's the people who use that term specifically because they don't feel that they can say they're a witch because they're male.
Yeah.
Like, that's my only issue with it.
Agree.
Because at the end of the day, going back to the entire history of the world, witch has never been about gender.
No.
Anyway, we can harp on this all day, but let's
Yes.
not. So they've got this Witches and Wizards convention, and I am going to butcher this name, so I apologize in advance.
I'll be doing the same soon anyway.
Yes. So this has been held annually since 2003 in the village of Paranapiacaba, which is in the Sao Paulo metropolitan region.
Mm-hmm.
So during the last weekend of May, about 75,000 visitors gather there over 3 days for its 21st edition, which consolidates the event as the largest of its kind in Latin America and the second largest in the world, behind Germany's Walpurgisnacht and the American Salem Haunted Happenings and annual Witches Ball, which is really cool.
Yes.
So academic sources report around 100,000 witches in Brazil.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Within that number is a core group of members of structured covens who identify as witches, totaling up to around 7,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah. Of course, local witches are spread throughout Brazil, especially in large urban centers, as you can imagine is the case with anywhere really. Paradoxically, contemporary witchcraft presents itself as a rural religion, but thrives mainly in cities. Excuse me. Practitioners of witchcraft very, very rarely make a living solely from their faith, which I think is kind of a misconception that a lot of people have.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I work in a law firm.
Yep. We gotta do other shit.
Exactly. I think it's very rare in general that a witch is only a witch by trade anymore,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So TikTok may tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
One local witch, Talita Leal from Osasco, Sao Paulo, jokes that when she converted to witchcraft, she became known in the municipality as the Wicked Witch of Oz.
Okay.
She said witchcraft and feminism are closely connected beyond herbs, potions, and spells. Witchcraft above all is a struggle, an openly political banner against patriarchy and capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Many of the most popular branches of witchcraft in Brazil derive from Hyperborean Wicca, a branch of the religion whose discourse and practices are strongly geared towards women. In it, followers worship the goddess or the Great Mother.
Right.
Yeah. However, witches from other branches also worship different deities. That's the case for Talia herself, who venerates Kiridwin. Brazil, 3 branches are most present, beginning with traditional British Wicca, with its strict liturgical system and initiation decrees, etc. Then feminist Wicca, which is also strong in the country and appears under names such as Dianican, etc. And then there are also
Budapest.
Yeah, exactly. There are also practitioners of minority schools such as Cochranianism, Stregoria, and movements to decolonize witchcraft, which adapt Wicca to Brazil's climate and ecosystem. And there's also a strong presence for chthonic witchcraft in Brazil. So essentially, instead of honoring gods of the sky, you would be venerating those deities of the earth. Yeah. There does definitely seem to be a large presence of witches in Brazil. So I love that they have, firstly, this organization for witches, and secondly, that there's regular gatherings that you can go to if you are a witch in Brazil.
Yeah, it's really great that they have found a sense of community.
Absolutely. I think community for witches, especially because we are a minority group, but it's true for any minority group, obviously. But it's something that is so paramountly important. I think that as much as we value our time of solitary practice, I think it's also very valued to have that connection with other witches.
Agreed.
So yay, Brazil.
All right, so next off to the UK, where Loughborough University is going to be doing a new research fellowship through the IAS, which presents the research spotlight for the 2026-2027 year. It's Witchcraft as More Than Human Ontology and Decolonial Practice. This will be led by Dr. Rachel Grew and Dr. Anais Carlton Parada. So it says, while there is a recent surge in research on witchcraft across multiple disciplines, and increased exploration of the more than human world from a transdisciplinary perspective. Little has been done to bring these two streams together, which they see as a major gap in transdisciplinary praxis that hopes to engage concepts of a relationality towards more substantial and ecologically sound futures. So witchcraft's intimate relationship with the more than human through spellcraft, ritual, and everyday practice, as well as its significance as a historically syncretic practice, make it a primary space for exploring novel post-human methodologies and engaging with plural versalism. Witchcraft is not only an othered onto epistemology, but a potential means of unsettling colonial hierarchies, capitalist and tech solutionism, and binaryism that dominates a Western one-world ontology. I would agree with that. This project therefore builds on calls to bridge theory, for example, across new materialism and indigenous knowledge. Yet it also challenges established discourse like the separation between Enlightenment-era rationality and occultism. In so doing, they hope to create a community of researchers at the forefront of the reenchantment turn in posthumanism, fostering a dynamic research dialogue amongst an international group of researchers and practitioners. They also propose a need to engage a broader swath of thinkers, including practicing witches, in public space and PhD colleagues, who may already be engaging in speculative methodologies. This is particularly significant as the figure of the witch continues to be crucial during periods of social and political upheaval. The aim of the showcase is to sow seeds to develop new future outputs and potential collaborations in this cutting-edge area of research activity. So the featuring it's already featuring confirmed IAS visiting fellows, Dr. Marcia Little Failla, apologies if I mispronounced your name, from North Carolina State University, and Associate Professor Margarita Howell from Colgate University. So this, the IAS Research Spotlight will take place during the week commencing the 21st of September of 2026. The event program is currently being finalized, and once complete, they'll add further details and booking links here. So, I'll go ahead and put the email here, IAS at elborough.ac.uk, and go ahead and contact them if you would like to take part in this. If you're like, what exactly is that again? So this is a bunch of researchers and scientists and scholars looking at where witchcraft, magic, ritual, the things that we do, how it benefits and connects to greater society and political movements, and to bring together, from what I understand, how they've kind of explored how the things we know in witchcraft have, translated into medicine, and that's been something they've been looking at for a long time. In A Cursed Man, the documentary, scientists confirmed that you can throw spells, that spells actually exist, that hexes exist, that witches can produce spells and energy, and they've tested what happens to their energy and their brainwaves when they go into a state of spellcraft or trance or ritual or invocation. So, and then people who study how witchcraft has influenced society, culturally, etc. So they're talking about bringing this all together in a new groundbreaking way of actual scholarly validated study. So very interesting. And again, that is at Loughborough University in the UK. They also have a campus in London. I do not believe this is the London campus though. But yeah, if you're interested, contact them.
Yes, please do. That sounds very fascinating. Well, we are jumping back into some satanic panic.
Oh, great.
Yes. So this centers around the new Minions and Monsters movie that just recently came out as part of the long-running Despicable Me Minions franchise.
Yes.
It hit theaters on July 1st. It's rated PG.
Yeah, it's normal kids.
Yeah. Now, of course, the franchise has become synonymous with lighthearted family fun. However, some parents are griping about this particular movie because they believe the film is pushing a satanic agenda.
Oh God, why?
Okay, so the film is set in 1927,
Okay.
41 years prior to the events of 2015's Despicable Me. It follows a group of minions as they navigate fame in old Hollywood. The beloved henchmen accidentally become silent movie stars in Hollywood before losing their fame with the rise of talkies.
Okay.
So having fallen in love with movie making and desperate to recapture their early success and lavish lifestyles, two minions named James and Harry decide to create their very own monster movie.
Okay.
They use a book of spells taken from an evil sorcerer that they used to work for. They use witchcraft to summon ferocious monsters for their monster film.
Okay.
However, not everything goes according to plan, and before you know it, they and their fellow minions must band together to save the world from the dangerous entities that they summon. One scene in particular that's drawing backlash is influenced by H.P. Lovecraft, who, of course, pioneered the cosmic horror genre, also known as Lovecraftian horror. In an effort to summon Cthulhu for their movie, the minions read from the Necronomicon.
Okay.
So basically, they read from the Necronomicon, but the incantation goes awry, and they accidentally bring forth a very small and very cute green monster named Yumi.
Okay.
So, of course, Christian parents doing what they love to do are in an uproar because of the spellcasting scene, essentially. On a subreddit called True Christian, which I can only imagine what goes on in there, one user created a post titled, "Please don't take your kids to see the new Minions movie." So after watching the Minions perform a ritual and summon a literal demon, this user felt compelled to warn other parents. They said, "I couldn't believe how overt it was. Usually films have subliminal message or hint at dark things, but this was some of the most overtly dark things I've seen in a kid's film." Well, then go watch Hunchback and get back to me.
Oh my.
So the discussion also is ongoing on X, where one user wrote, "Don't take your children to see the new Minions movie. The film brings together invocations of demons, sexual perversion, and satanic symbols/seals. All of this in a movie made to corrupt your children from an early age." I'm confused where the sexual perversion part comes in. I don't know. Are James and Harry doing it?
I'm pretty sure there's at one point one of the minions is like dressed up in drag or something.
Okay.
So
I was hoping maybe James and Harry were going to be a couple. That would have been funny.
So that's what they're upset about.
Yeah.
Okay.
That there's a spellcasting scene in the movie. Lot of similar comments are going around. Some have not been as critical. But yeah, there's a lot of people up in arms about the spellcasting scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stupid Christian.
It's so true though that they really do look for their demise in everything.
Yes, they can't take everything. They take everything to be super serious and true, and nothing can just be for the sake of entertainment or the sake of plot. Like, it can't just be, I mean, it's a Necronomicon, for fuck's sake. Like, Evil Dead, like, the Evil Dead franchise uses a Necronomicon.
Right.
So many other things use a Necronomicon. Fucking, it's the fucking South Park.
Right.
Cthulhu, like, it's all, like, in the end, it's a creation of H.P. Lovecraft. Now, do I think he's tapped into shit? Probably. Do I think he connected with something? Yes. Do I think that is a bleeding out of this? Absolutely not. Just like, I don't think, that me watching, the Passion of the Christ, which I've never seen still, and I don't think that me watching that is necessarily, actually, I don't even want to use that as an example because that's not even comparable. So All Dogs Go to Heaven. I don't think watching All Dogs Go to Heaven is because it references heaven and has angels. I don't actually think it's trying to push a Christian agenda.
No.
Like, I don't think, I just don't. Like, I don't think it was. Like, It was just using this very simple, basic concept. Heaven, hell, the afterlife, angels, blah, 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 in the vein of fucking, It's a Wonderful Life type shit. Like,
exactly.
I don't think that the intention of Don Bluth was to convert people to Christianity. I don't think that was the point. Same thing here.
Exactly.
It's literally Cthulhu myth of H.P. Lovecraft fiction.
Right.
Like, I
also,
just,
show me the book where H.P. Lovecraft wrote about this goomy.
Yeah, show me goomy. Show me the goom. All right. So the Jewish community apparently is up in arms. Some of it, the leaders in it anyways, are up in arms over a new Harvard Divinity School journal titled Ashura.
Okay.
Yeah, so a new scholarly journal at Harvard's Divinity School focused on modern Judaism. Not my quotes, it's the quote of the author of this, who clearly is probably traditional Rabbinic Jew. And named after a pagan goddess, is adding to concerns about anti-Semitism on campus. The first edition of Ashura, which deems itself a journal of Jewish liturgy, was published back in May and was funded in part by the Dean's Office. Now, Rabbi Yaakov Menken, vice president of the Coalition for Jewish Values, told the paper The College Fix in a recent interview with them they did by email that the decision to name a journal after pagan deity is not original, but it is concerning. That it is named after a form of idolatry reminds me of the Jewish feminist magazine Lilith, named after an impure spirit or screech owl, which is turning 50 this year, Menken said. Then he continued on. There's nothing groundbreaking here. When the founder claims that they received many responses, stretching from congratulations to curiosity to disturbance and even anger, I would take that with a hefty grain of salt. So the goddess, according to the journal introduction by student editors Daisy Jacobs and Lila Rimolovoski, is entirely present and also invisibilized in most expression of modern Judaism. So she was originally a Canaanite deity, and she was adopted and used by Israelites in their places of worship and homes in both the kingdoms of Judah and the more unruly northern kingdom of Israel, the preface states, citing Old Testament scriptures. So the name refers back to a spiritual moment in the ancient Israelite tradition, not to subvert the norms that constitute Judaism today, as much as to enhance them by reviving the idea of devotional practices that are not severed from the beauty of the natural world all of us inhabit, it states. However, a recent article by the Washington Free Beacon raised concerns that the use of the name Ashura constitutes blatant disregard of biblical Judaism. So the article cites where in Deuteronomy 16:21, it states, "You shall not plant for yourself an Ashura or any tree near the altar of the Lord, your God, which you shall make for yourself." Now, Ashura, historically, from what little is known about her worship, worshippers danced around the tree to her, and it was usually next to the shrine of Yahweh. So, Menken told The Fix that the journal is about hostility to Judaism, not just Jews. The journal claims to be respectful, but names itself after an idol and implies Judaism needs revision. I would expect that several of its writers tolerate and even subscribe to beliefs about the modern-day country of Israel and its enemies that all traditional scholars would deem anti-Semitic, he said. So the Free Beacon similarly raised issues with the journal and anti-Semitism, describing Harvard as a cesspool of Jew hate.
Okay.
It's more than a bit much for the Harvard Divinity School Dean's Office. After all, that had happened in recent years to subsidize the production of an openly non-scholarly magazine devoted to redefining Judaism into something that will strike many Americans, justifiably, as a perversion. So, Rabbi Menken also referenced Harvard's record on the score, telling The Fix that the journal is tangential to Harvard's tolerance of grotesque anti-Semitism. To Menken, the journal's intentions were questionable from the outset of it. The notion that Harvard Divinity would genuinely contribute to innovations in Jewish prayer and ritual, much less as a journal devoid of any authentic Jewish scholarship, is alternately humorous and sad, more than hateful, the rabbi said. So neither of the co-editors nor the school's media relations responded to the 2 email requests for interviews over the past 2 weeks by the College Fix paper. So all of the journal's first issue invites inquiries, pointing interested parties to its website. Ashura does not include any means of contacting it. So under the donations tab, there is a place apparently for donors to include a message. But otherwise, neither the website nor the first issue of the journal included an email address, phone number, or contact form. The journal, which is dedicated to innovations in Jewish prayer and ritual, state that it is offered in the hopes that it will serve a broad community of Jews and non-Jews alike. In the interview, Vincent told student editor Rimolovoski, the word God is one way to hold on to the concept of one divine being, goddess another, God X another. Vincent praised the journal, exclaiming, "And now, oh my goddess, there's going to be an Ashura journal at Harvard Divinity School. Our ancient mothers and fathers, ancestors 2,500 years ago, they've been waiting so long. how much they must have that we're coming, how happy they are that we are coming home, to have faith with Asherah. Vincent described mainstream Judaism as an articulated myth surrounding a new king who is going to rise, some dude on his calico donkey who will save us all. Vincent said of the Messiah of the traditional Jewish religion, it's very beguiling, and of course, he's never going to come. Instead, Vincent painted a picture of Jews worshipping Asherah, lamenting, "We know so heartbreaking little about how the ancestors worshipped the goddess." As I said, but we know that there's strong evidence of dancing around the tree. Yes, they would dance around a tree. Spending time dancing in circles versus sitting in a pew that doesn't move, staring at people performing for us, checking a box and leaving. It moves the energy in a completely different way. Vincent also called on Asherah in the closing prayer of the interview. "From our place of deep center, I call out to Asherah, the one within us, between us, and beyond us." When asked about the potential impact of the Asherah journal, Rabbi Mencken was confident in the victory of traditional Jewish religion over what he deemed the quasi-Jewish pagan rituals. His last quote was, "It will not have a meaningful long-term impact upon the Jewish world, especially among those practicing Jewish prayer and ritual." So, yay for Asherah.
Asherah.
She is coming back. She is coming back. Hey, Asherah, you're coming back.
And you're cool.
So I have no critiques of any of that
No,
at all.
not at all.
Other than, suck it, bitches. Suck it, Yahweh.
Suck it,
Your
Yahweh.
wife is getting her people back.
Exactly. I need "Suck It, Yahweh" on a t-shirt.
Yo, who doesn't?
No one doesn't need that. So, an Aramaic inscription has revealed that early Christians sealed a Roman Mithras temple.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So this is at an underground Mithras temple at Zerzevan Castle in southeastern Turkey.
Mm-hmm.
And it was symbolically sealed by early Christians around 1700 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
The inscription, which was discovered at the entrance to the temple during excavations at Zerzevan Castle in Kinar district.
Mm-hmm.
And again, apologies for any mispronunciations. Yes. It was deciphered by Professor Mehmet Sait Topak. He is the head of the Syriac Language and Literature Department at Mardin Artuklu University. Professor Topak is a detailed epigraphic and philological investigation concluded that the inscription dates to the 3rd or 4th century AD.
Mm-hmm.
The results show that the Mithras sanctuary was formally closed after Christianity became the dominant religion in the Roman Empire. Now, researchers compared the inscription's letter forms and linguistic features with Old Syriac and Aramaic inscriptions from around that same time period, the 2nd and 3rd centuries AD, including examples housed at the Sanliurfa Museum, and their analyses concluded that both the inscription and a carved cross at the temple entrance symbolize the official closure of the sanctuary. The underground temple, uncovered within the Roman frontier fortress of the castle, is regarded as one of the most significant surviving Mithraic sanctuaries associated with Roman military garrison. Mithraism, of course, was a mystery cult centered on the god Mithras, widely practiced amongst Roman soldiers during the 2nd and 3rd centuries AD. The excavation director, Professor Aitas Koskun, said that the discovery provides long-sought evidence explaining what became of Mithras temples after Christianity had spread through the empire. He said previous coin discoveries had already suggested when the temple was abandoned, but the newly deciphered inscription now provides direct evidence of its closure. He added that researchers had been unable to interpret the inscription since it was first discovered in 2017, with the latest study approximately taking about a year to complete. Mithraism increasingly came to be regarded as a rival faith after Roman emperors had embraced Christianity.
Right.
While some Mithras temples were converted into churches, others were deliberately closed, such as was the case in this one. Professor Tropak said that the inscription makes symbolic references to both the invincible sun god Mithras and to Jesus Christ, reflecting the religious transformation taking place during that period.
Interesting.
Yeah. He said the text refers to the Holy Cross and the name of God, describing the one who commands, reforms, and spreads love. This is the first known Old Aramaic inscription documenting the closure of a Mithras temple and is an extremely important archaeological discovery. So that is very exciting.
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, signs of you know, the Christian takeover.
Yeah.
Because while, yes, okay, they ceremonially sealed this one, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
The article, which I get is not the main point, so maybe they wouldn't mention it, but they gloss over how these conversions and how these things happen, how these temples were destroyed, what happened to the priests and priestesses and guards and shit within these temples, and what happened to the practitioners and the worship. Like, it was not just this, when people convert, that's not what happened. So, but it is cool that we have found, you know,
as an artifact, it's very, very fascinating.
Yes, especially given the fact that so many pagan temples were historically just horrifically vandalized and destroyed.
Exactly.
And this was ceremoniously sealed.
Yeah, exactly. You really do not very often hear about that happening. So it's very interesting to have a story where it did, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it seems definitely from artifacts that we have talked about on the show before, it seems like this is kind of a rare occurrence, you know.
Lastly, a Holt Summit man in Callaway County was arrested for raping a minor girl following a Wiccan ceremony.
Oh.
Yeah. So, Benjamin Fewen, 45 years old, of Holt Summit in Callaway County, was charged Friday, the 3rd of July, with second-degree statutory rape, second-degree statutory sodomy, and fourth-degree child molestation, and tampering or attempting to tamper with a victim. And he is currently being held in the Callaway County Jail with no bond. The Callaway County Sheriff's Office was notified about the allegations the last week of June, involving Fewens and a now 15-year-old girl. And the abuse started in May of 2025 when the girl was 14. According to the court documents, Fewens was supposedly teaching the girl about the Wiccan religion when he instructed her to take off her clothes. Fewens also disrobed and allegedly told the girl that he was conducting a pact ritual. He warned that if she broke the pact by telling anyone, bad luck or death would come to those closest to her. Court records state Fewens then grabbed the girl and began raping her. Afterwards, he then gave her a morning after pill and reminded her of their pact.
Ew.
Yeah. Great way to end it on the news, right? Everyone saying, hey, Marcus, great job. Yes, I know. But let's hold that in our heads when we talk and think about, unfortunately, the long history of abuses of power and position, unfortunately within the witchcraft, Wiccan, pagan, neo-pagan, etc., la-di-da-di-da, transition, mutata community. Like, just a lot. So, yeah. Be careful of those who claim to want to teach you, especially if they are like 20 years or more older than you. Mm-hmm. Why are you a 14-year-old girl with at the time 43, 44-year-old man?
Right.
What? So, yeah, let's just meditate on that.
Yes.
All right, and now it is time for Astrology Mixology for July of 2026.
Woo-hoo! Sparkle, sparkle.
So, July. Now, of course, for those of you, let me preface, for those of you who may be watching, and this is your first time doing Astrology and Mixology in the middle of the month, and you're like, what the fuck? That's why it's called Mixology. Normally, we do it in the middle of the month, so you can see what has taken place from the beginning of the month and kind of reflect on the past couple of weeks and be like, oh shit, that has been going on. And then moving forward, you can see how the dots connect and continue with that little oomph of, okay, yeah, I need to pay attention to this moving forward for the rest of the month. So, unfortunately, though, for the past few episodes, the full moon, the episode that needed to happen for Astrology Mixology was either going to be at the beginning of the month or it was going to be like the end of the month, so I had no choice but to be doing it at the beginning of the month. So, but now we're back to normal. So, back on July 1st, Jupiter formed a square with Chiron. This is was the final of 3 in a set. So during that period, we may have found ourselves yearning for meaning, understanding, but it's hard to do that in line with a personal philosophy or belief system that authentically mirrors our core. It's really hard to accomplish that. And our beliefs and ideas or other people's could lead us astray from what we thought of ourselves and where we were going. We could be confronted with a crisis of faith during this time. Something could have occurred that challenges our fundamental beliefs and leave us very confused. We may have instances of feeling isolated in our opinions, our visions, our future plans that we might have for ourselves or in relationships with others, but those people may not see it or understand it. On July 7th, Neptune turned retrograde. And this shift casted kind of a fog over our lives and just kind of getting things that we needed to get done. Many of us may have had a temporary loss of inspiration while we're trying, and maybe even been trying to realign our dreams and pursuits and wishes and goals inside of ourselves. I think that really kind of ties into our main topic. So maybe that is why we're doing this episode in the first place. Maybe that's why we're in the position doing it, how we're having to do it.
Neptune was like, I know what you're gonna talk about, but nah.
Now, this retrograde cycle will last until December 12th of this year.
Oh, so excited.
Yep. This, of course, is going to suggest a period of a lot of taking things in, a lot of receptiveness, and a lot of indecisiveness as we're realigning all of our shit. Yeah. This could be a period of being in limbo, liminal spaces, but great exploration and shadow work can happen at this time. Now, this isn't the first retrograde turn while Neptune is in Aries, but it was the first one where Neptune spent the entire retrograde in the sign. On July 14th, today, it's the new moon in Cancer. This is all about new beginnings. So this is all about starting anew. So fuck all that's happened in the past couple of weeks. So this will bring a fresh start to our lives, with our personal lives, families, our domestic worlds. If we can consciously tune into the positive Cancer energy, sure. We could learn more about ourselves and our loved ones. This is a time for feeding our foundations, everything we call home, including our spiritual foundations inside of ourselves and externally within our communities. This is about tending to our needs and honoring ourselves and honoring the sacredness of those around us as well. It's about recognizing the importance of family, whether that is found family or the family you're born into or a combination of both. It's about belonging. This is a new moon that aligns with the retrograde in Mercury. There's going to be some discomfort moving forward, but it's good motivation for these new beginnings. July 15th, Uranus will, so tomorrow, tomorrow, Uranus will form a sextile with Neptune. This will be the third of 5 in the set. So it's all about seeking and discovering illumination. It's about being more open to alternative ways of believing, living, expressing yourself. It's about being receptive to unusual or different experiences and ideas. But it's also about being adverse to any form of force-feeding spirituality or belief systems, either doing it to ourselves, enforcing things and ideas and traditions that aren't speaking to us anymore, or others enforcing, force-feeding their ideas and concepts of divinity, deity, religion, magic, witchcraft, etc. down your throat.
Which is always something that you need to watch out for and be cognizant about.
Mm-hmm. It's about preferring our freedom to follow our own intuition. It's a time to update and reform how we express our compassion, our care for the underprivileged and the marginalized, how we pursue our dreams, how we get away from it all, how we do art, how we create, how we share. On July 18th, Uranus will form a trine with Pluto, and this is the first of 5 in a set that will extend until May of 2028. So this is going to be a meaningful transition. So be ready to tap into deeper ambitions and motivations. This is a time for connection with our inner selves, and this can lead to new directions and terrific opportunities. It's recognizing the need for change and to reform, but it's also about realizing that we always need to have a concrete plan of action that will help us in times of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
This may be a time of deliberate change making, maybe transitioning new jobs, new homes, new towns, new places, new relationships, forming new alliances, business relationships, friendships. Might discover new talents, might invent something. The world is your oyster. On July 20th, Jupiter will form a trine with Neptune, and this is a standalone transit. So it is idealistic and humanitarian goals or impulses that rise to the surface. It's about making connections with others from different backgrounds that are in the spotlight of your life. It's really about expanding our minds through unusual and different experiences, which just seems to be a running theme through this period of the months coming forward. It's about the feelings of generosity and compassion may increase inside of you. Hopefully it does. It should in all of us all the time.
Yes.
And for those of us of faith, our faith may get a real boost of energy during this time and boost of connectedness. So also on July 20th, Jupiter will form an opposition with Pluto. This is another standalone transit. This transition will bring intensity and conflict into our lives. Though, yes, we can be quite ambitious, feeling that if we set our sights high enough, we can achieve anything, but we need to make sure that we tread lightly. That whole Icarus close to the sun effect.
Mm-hmm.
While it may not come naturally, it is advised, as it is all too easy to stir up opposition celestially and energetically. We should watch out for a tendency to take on too many interests and activities, desires, or obligations. Watch out about gloating or exaggerating your importance or your power, either within to yourself or to others. This should really be avoided. And we know in the witchcraft magical world, there are so many people out there who really have these inflated sense of egos, and they'll, battle each other, they'll get in war with each other. You see it on Witch Talk all the time. And you're just like, bitch, you're doing all of this with a ring light and a phone stand and your phone in your empty ritual room or bedroom or on your porch or whatever. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Right.
Like,
the hubris be hubrin.
yes. So something might challenge our belief system, and this might prompt a major attitude change. Or we might have to deal with the narrow-mindedness in others, or even deal with the narrow-mindedness or prejudice that you carry inside yourself about something or someone. We might feel a lot of enormous pressure to chase a desire or goal at this time, but be careful, because you can make mistakes and exercise poor judgment. There could be exploitation, manipulation, fanaticism, obsession, legal issues, ulterior motives. But if the energies are channeled well and there is consciousness and forethought put forward into this moment, it can be a time to heal and improve. Trying to force our beliefs onto others will only lead to frustration, which you should never do. So, on July 21st, Jupiter will form a sextile with Uranus. This too will be a standalone transit. Changes and innovations are exciting now. It's a time to be we're feeling open to new energies. Maybe a lot of the lucky events. It is the time of Jupiter, after all, may occur as a direct result of our willingness to entertain the unusual and to think outside of the box. This is a transit time that favors group activities, financial endeavors that might be associated with groups or organizational efforts, online connection ventures, educational pursuits, publishing, writing. With Jupiter in Leo, it may make us quite personal, but when Jupiter in Leo forms a sextile to Uranus, it'll help us detach somewhat from some of that, so that we can embrace change. We may find ourselves in unique or unusual ways, find unique or unusual ways to enjoy ourselves or help and inspire others. You might feel real focused at this time to bring out the best in others by recognizing others' unique talents and those around you, to give them a little boost. On July 23rd, Mercury will end its retrograde in the sign of Cancer. Thank God. So the communications planet which began a retrograde cycle late last month on June 29th, will now end on July 23rd. Mercury has remained in the sign of Cancer throughout the retrograde. Mercury is in Cancer for some time until August 9th. And something similar like this happened in July 2020. Oh God. 2020, June, yeah. July. God. Oh God. Okay. So Mercury in Cancer is insular by nature. So the slowdown and then the retrograde is going to be even more so. But this is a really good, excellent period. This is a really good time to get in touch with the things that nurture us and feed our spirits. And this is about emotional communication, which is not always valued as much as it should be in our society. But this is a time to explore the more intimate and sympathetic and emotional sides of ourselves. Mercury is retro, and to use that when making decisions. Usually we try to say keep the head and the heart separate in decision making, especially, but sometimes it is good to let emotion decide. So Mercury's direct turn on July 23rd will help unblock information clogs if you may be feeling blocked in that direction, and it will remain in its post-retrograde shadow until the 6th of August. On July 25th, Neptune will form a sextile with Pluto, and this will be the first of many such aspects while Neptune is in Aries and Pluto is in Aquarius. Interesting. With this long-term influence, we will be especially able to see that there's layers of situations, which sometimes people are not able to see that. It can be very black and white. It's a time of rich experiences and cultural movements, indulging our fantasy about what makes people and things work and their motivations. and politics. It's about paying more sensitive attention to human rights. Psychic energy will be intense, but not overwhelmingly so during this time. It's about really just seeking to want to elevate what's mundane or ordinary in our lives with a sense of purpose and magic. This is going to be a time of work on deepening our intuition, imagination, compassion, and manifestation and spell work. So, good. On July 26th, Saturn will turn retrograde and will continue to travel in its apparent backward motion until the 10th of December. While Saturn is in retrograde, we may often review our responsibilities and commitments and kind of just examine them versus deal with them directly. We might feel experiences of guilt and self-doubt, and we may internalize fears, but also this will form a chance to reassess our commitments and the things we have committed ourselves to, whatever those are, and if they are still the things that are best serving us or our goals. So Saturn in Aries will stay in the sign throughout this retrograde. On July 26th, the moon's true north node will also enter Aquarius. So this will begin a new cycle, and this will last over a year and a half until March of 2028. While the north node of the moon transits into the sign of Aquarius, this will be a time to embrace community-oriented, humanitarian type endeavors. It's a powerful time to cultivate sensitivity to the needs of others, and also maybe form more impartial and less possessive relationships. And
I don't know what that is.
As we learn to let go of the need for a passionate chase, satisfaction will come. So this may be a time during which we should solve problems that require thinking outside of the box and being hopeful for the future. On July 29th, a full moon occurs in Aquarius, awakening all of us to the need for others or to answer to humanitarian impulses. This lunation will remind us of our needs for friendship, community, as well as impartiality and objectivity. Don't lose sight of the larger goals that we have in our lives and our need to give back to our community or the people that support us in our lives. Full moons are about connecting us with things we already know but aren't acknowledging, such as buried feelings, powers, emotions, thoughts, memories, etc., relationships. They can also bring secrets to light, and projects can come to a turning point. So this full moon will occur when the sun conjuncts with Jupiter and the moon conjuncts with Pluto and Juno. It will harmonize with Neptune and Uranus. So this configuration, some things might challenge our beliefs, other things might motivate us to make changes or improvements in our lives. Maybe you're dealing with issues of power and control in your life. But you're also maybe going to start finding creative ways to move forward from those relationships, and maybe find a way to sneak in that middle of the night and get in that trunk and get the fuck out of there, girl or boy, or they. So there's still a desire to enjoy ourselves and grow our relationships, and these things can be motivators now through this full moon. And our need for love and our need to be generous and to accept others' generosity, which I know I have a problem with usually, and to accept affection, which again I also kind of have a problem with, may sort itself out. And there you have it, your astrology mixology for July 2026. Learn it, love it, live it, mix it up, and move forward.
And maybe smoke it all into a nice little cocktail for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
If you are of age.
Yes, if you're in the age of, I don't know. Why? Because I am burnt the fuck out.
Yes.
I am tired. As you know, I talked about in the last episode, we were late. We were like a month almost behind, or a month behind, because of being under the weather. And just, we're scrambling. Yeah. It's been a busy summer. Obligations have run high, and it's caused things. And now we're having to talk about our main topic, which, in order to get into, now we have to move forward 24 hours.
We return.
Yes.
You got a little darker and I got a little lighter, as is the natural order of things.
Right. And we have moved forward in time.
We have.
Why is that? Because we've been burnt out. And we thought, why not talk about that? Why not talk about what happens when, in your witchcraft, in your ritual work, in your practice, life gets in the way? Or maybe, as I jokingly like to say, but it is kind of true, maybe there is someone who needs a little extra help or whatever from your patron or matron deity or deities, and they're gone. They've pieced the fuck out. You go, you do ritual, and maybe now you don't really anymore because the last few times you've gone to do ritual on the new moon or full moon or once a week or whenever, the connection's not there. You're not feeling it. They're not answering. You don't even know if they hear you. Or if you hear them. And so maybe because of that, you've now just stopped altogether because they just haven't been responding. And we can feel an alert at that point. We can feel very adrift, very lost. Mm-hmm. You know, what happens when life is just a lot and the mundane is a lot and maybe you don't have the energy to get any spell work in.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you do what I have done many a time in my fucking, not counting the first 5 years of my life, because what witchcraft was I really doing, you know, that young in a cognitive sense.
Exactly.
So the past 35, 34, 36 years of my life, there have been, you know, times where, especially when I was old enough to buy spell ingredients, where I would buy everything for a spell, you know, like, and it was like a set spell from Spellbook. And so, and it was set to a specific time, to a specific planetary alignment, all this fucking shit. And, you know, I'm like a month, 2 months, 3 months in, I've planned on doing this fucking spell or this ritual or this invocation or opening this portal or summoning these interdimensional beings or whatever. And then fucking life just fucking happens.
Yeah.
And I am too fucking tired. I don't have the fucking energy. And it just fucking sits there. And sometimes you can say, I'll just do it the next full moon or the next whatever.
Yeah.
But in some cases,
you don't.
You're like, well, if this stuff would still be good in another 20 years, I'd hold on to it. But since it's another 20 years before I'll have this opportunity to do this particular thing again, I guess I just wasted all that fucking money.
Right.
Now, there are ways you can play with this. Like, not, for example, not all spells, even if they rely on a time and a day, don't necessarily rely also on your geographical location.
Right.
They just need it to be so that you can play with time zones. Right. And, you know, some places it's the future and it's the past and it's the middle and it's... So you can kind of hop around in that sense and get away with it. But if it's like, oh, it needs to be, look up, it's specifically like, it needs to be at this time, your specific location. Yeah. Well, then you're fucked, right? Like, you're fucked. Like, and that has happened. That has happened in my life. And it sucks. It sucks. And I've gone through times in my life where I was just really in a dark place, or there was just so much going on that I was kind of, I'd hung up my broom in my conical hat in the closet. Not the broom closet, because I never was like hiding. I would never, if I got into a discussion about faith, I would be like, HEKA-TEA. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, like, I never stopped being like, I'm a fucking pagan. Like, I'm a fucking witch. Like, but I got to the point where it was like, it just was not in my everyday. And not even because I didn't want it to be, but because I felt really disconnected. Right. And I had other stuff going on. So we all go through that. We all have that happen. But what are some ways to get back into it when it happens? So that's just kind of, so that's what we wanted to discuss. Because, I'm certainly going through it. You know, I'm currently going through it. Not in the sense of like I'm feeling disconnected from my deities or anything. On my end, it's more of just the burnt out part. Yeah. Where it's just like I don't have the energy at the moment to go do the things I want to do. Although I kind of have broken that habit, and again, we'll get into that when we talk about those things. So anyway, let's kind of discuss all this and you know where that is and how that happens, etc. You know, I will definitely say, as I said, and that I would say goes for you, there have been points in our lives where we were too busy just like living life and doing the things that there was no time. Yeah. And it also like kind of didn't feel like a priority in certain moments.
There were definitely times like that, I would agree.
I think too, we're in such a heightened place in this world right now.
Yes.
Where everything is fucking insane. And in the greatest show of Gilded Age, out of touch disgustingness, we just had Taylor Swift and her marriage at Madison Square Garden, and just the ridiculousness of that. And she's like the biggest polluter in the entire world.
Oh my gosh.
Like the number one biggest polluter, single biggest polluter in the entire fucking world. Like that blew my mind.
Yes.
And but then we have even what the continuing conflict in Iran, the continuing genocide committed by Israel in fucking Gaza and in Syria and Lebanon and the West Bank, and Trump's wanting Greenland again, and we had an agreement with Iran for a ceasefire, and so the Strait of Hormuz could open up again, and we could start maybe seeing prices go down on something, and now that's all gone to fucking shit because of course it has, and no one can afford anything. Prices are going up all the time. I'm sure if you are doing spells right now, I'm sure most of your focus is on prosperity and wealth and like job security, protection, whatever, medical health spells. So, that eats up a lot of worry and a lot of energy, and eats up a lot of psychic energy and psychic feeding is going on into the need to survive that I think we're all just going through.
Yeah.
And I think that it's natural right now, and when all that shit's going on, to feel bogged down, maybe to feel disconnected. I think it's easy to doubt our own witchcraft and to doubt witchcraft and faith and everything in general in these moments.
Yeah.
Because it feels like, I think we forget, because sometimes we can do a spell and it will be like that, right? Or we can do a petition or something, and our deities answer like that. That we forget that sometimes spells take a minute.
Yes.
They'll happen, but we don't operate in the realm of fantasy in that sense.
Exactly.
Kind of what we talked about earlier with that news piece.
Yes.
About Brazilian witches. Fantastical things do happen, and we have encountered. We as witches know. We have treaded worlds. We have astral projected. We have fucking summoned storms. We have changed the lights. We have done weird, crazy fucking shit. We have made things happen. We have done things where we do a spell and then the fucking candle goes out, or a gust of wind that just wasn't there suddenly just comes through right at that right moment, and you can feel something in that wind, and you know that it's a confirmation that your spell has just worked. And we do know fantastic things happen as witches, but not in the way that Hollywood projects. While in other ways also, though, like Hollywood can project. It's very weird. But for the most part, we don't have sparkles and shit shooting out, and things aren't lifting up a command and, shit like that. Like, and of course we see all the times where spells are answered are manifested very quickly, right? And so we have to be patient for that. And sometimes when things are really hard and really difficult, we forget that the mechanisms in spell work, and I always use that example of the Polar Express and the girl losing her ticket, and how all these things through nature, gusts of wind, it catching a pack of wolves running through the snow at the right time, and then kick it up and keep traveling it along with them until it just all these mechanisms, it lands briefly on a waterfall stream and it helps send it down. All these things just of nature help kick it in, right? All these sacred synchronicities, all these things happening at once like a mechanism. But sometimes, and most of the time, all of those mechanisms come into play to ensure you get the job that you're wanting.
Right.
Or I don't know, the apartment you've been looking at, or whatever it is. It takes a minute to move all those, to get all those moving little pieces. There's a lot of moving parts that have to be moved into interlocking places to build that bridge between you and your desire. You know what I mean? And we can forget that.
Yeah.
And so in desperate times, when we feel like suddenly maybe we've lost our magic because things aren't happening really fast, so we give up.
Yeah.
We, like I said, you go to deity, and you are used to just powerful, amazing experiences.
and the big bam, you know, like,
and just these, you're in tears at the end of
right,
ritual, and
exactly.
it's like deific download, and it's a voice of God inside your heart and soul. And then, or maybe it's not even that big. Sometimes it's just you feel their energy and their presence before you and around you. But then one day you go to do ritual, and it's like, hello?
And you question if you're, you know, talking out loud to yourself,
right,
you know?
Right. Suddenly you're like, what the fuck am I doing? And then you are like, whoa, what am I thinking? Why am I thinking that? Like, you then immediately are like, oh shit, like, what am I doing? I already, like, because you know rationally, witchcraft is real. You know you're a witch. You know magic is real. You know the gods, the spirits, the elementals. It's all real. You know it is.
Right.
But then suddenly you're just feeling like you're going through the motions. Like you're literally just like doing an act, rehearsing a play. And last week it wasn't like that. But now suddenly it is. And you're like, okay. And so then maybe you take a step back. And then you try a week later, you go and do the same thing. There's no answer, and you're feeling like you're talking to nothing, and you're just speaking out to a wall or to a sky or to a void, and you're just like, why am I doing this? Why the fuck am I doing this? And I think those are, I don't want to say moments or crisis of faith. Like crisis of faith, I mean, they can be, sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
for people they can be. But I think it's more, when I think about, like, when I've been in those situations, in those moments of my life, I know that for me personally, when I do go through that, when I am feeling that, it's usually because, like I said, they don't answer.
Right. I mean, I think that what a lot of people really need to keep on their mind as they're going through these kind of ups and downs sometimes is that, you know, when we speak about our relationship to deity, right, we tend to say like, oh, I work with that deity, I work with this deity. And that phrasing is very intentional, and we have to realize this. It is a working relationship. It is something that, just like any relationship to your friend or your mom or your brother, is going to take work to maintain, and it's going to go through those ups and downs just like any relationship would. And it is going to be work.
Well, and not only that, but it's like, when I question this, right, and I'm not getting an answer, and I'll think, oh, maybe I'm just off, right? Maybe it's just an off day.
Yeah.
I'm tired, I'm whatever, and then, you know, I go and same thing, you know, it happens again, and it's just this sense of disconnect. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
And it's because she's not answering, or whoever or, you know, HEKA-TEA's not answering, Santa Muerte's not answering, or like, blah, she's not answering, whoever I'm working with isn't answering. And it's like, okay, are they over it? Are they just stepped out? Which that can happen.
Oh,
sometimes a deity will just be like, look, I know we've been rocking it for 10, 15 years, but I've taught you all that I can teach you. And what you need to learn now and next isn't what I do, and it's not my thing. Bye, right?
Right.
Most of the time, though, and this is when I saw an answer from HEKA-TEA about it, the answer I got from her, the message I got from her was basically like, essentially, handle it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? She was like, I have other followers. I have other devotees. I have others who desperately, desperately need my undivided attention. And yes, I'm supreme and omnipotent, but I also gotta focus where I gotta focus. You know, I'm not big on social gatherings. You know, I like to show up and have my car pick me up in 45 minutes or in 15 minutes, you know, and have me out of there before they start actually seating for dinner. You know, she's very like, I can only do so much. And if I'm taxing all of my energy to X amount of my devotees, of my children, of my HEKA-TEA witches, or just whoever else in general just needs me now, I trust in my children, in the magic and the power and the skills that they've developed and that I've given them and that they have to handle it. Like, there's a reason why, and yes, this is a modern thing, although I mean, what we know of it now, the Charge of the Goddess, is the Doreen Valentine version, but it goes all the way back to the Gospel of Aradia, where it has a little bit of different wording. But one of the things in there is the, once in a month, better it be when the moon is full, or in HEKA-TEA's case, full or dark. You will come and, enjoy the witcheries of me, blah, 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 right?
Right.
She's not saying, because you got to remember, in the Gospel of Aradia, when that is being given, that's given by Diana. We have to remember that Diana and HEKA-TEA were one, and it was Diana, HEKA-TEA, HEKA-TEA, Diana.
Right.
They were synced really from the very fucking beginning. There was never a separation, really. And when we're talking about Diana in the Gospel of Aradia, from description, everything, it's definitely HEKA-TEA. But what she's saying there, the goddess regardless, the queen of all witcheries, is saying there when she says, once in a month when the moon is full, come to me once in a month, better it be when the moon is full. She's not saying that's it, and then don't ever do it. No, that's it for her. But there's a whole other bunch of days in that calendar every month that you can do it on your fucking own, and you don't need to bother her with it.
Right.
You are a witch, you have the skills, trust in it. And so that's kind of what she was saying to me, was like, look, it's not that I'm abandoning you. I haven't walked away, but you are capable of these things, and you are capable in this moment. And there are others who are not capable right now that I need to help and I need to be with. And you're a witch. You have the power to fucking fix it yourself. So handle it. Like, you don't need me or any other deity or spirit to do it for you. You are a fucking witch. Do a spell, make it happen. There you go. And yeah, easier said than done, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because what if you're also just not feeling the mojo?
Right.
So then you're like, well, how do I do the spell? We'll get to that. But Evan, have you had any of these situations? I mean, I'm sure you have. We've all had. But what are some times that you can think of where you've experienced this, or why you've gone through moments of like this in your life?
So I would say the burnout for me currently is not really about having any lack of energy. It's more kind of about having lack of time in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I work with 5 deities. I also co-host the show, and I have a 40-hour day job as well.
Yes.
I also solely run my household. There's just a lot of things that I need to do to keep everything running smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in an ideal world, I prefer to give each one of my deities a weekly devotional.
Yes.
However, being that there are 5 of them, that can often get, I don't want to say too much because it's not that,
mm-hmm.
but it can get to a place where I don't always make it to all of them in the week.
Right.
And then I feel bad that I haven't made it to them.
Yeah.
But I think like the kind of the message that I've received from them in these like moments of kind of beating myself up about it is that there are other ways to honor and venerate them that are not doing like sitting down and doing active ritual.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? Because what they've reminded me of is that even on those days when maybe I didn't make it to their altar, I still listen to their playlists that
mm-hmm.
I made them. Like, I like even when I'm at my desk at work, like often like whoever sacred day it is, like I'll put on their playlist while I'm working.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously during those moments, like I am still like working and doing my job at my desk, but I'm also engaging in connection with them and meditation on them. And that is still an act of worship,
mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. There are times where, ideally, yes, in the morning, I would love to have the time to go and do my morning devotionals with HEKA-TEA with all the deities that I work with, but sometimes it just is not possible. And most of the time it's not. But you know what? Some of them, the invocations and hymns and shit, I know by heart.
Exactly.
And then if I don't, I have them on my phone. I have my phone on me all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sit there in the car and I'll just do them in the car.
Exactly.
It means no less. It means the one who it feels less to is me.
Yes.
Because we as humans respond to aesthetic. We respond to environment, right? That's just how our senses, everything ignites in part by the sensory things around us. And so one of the things that really help us connect, obviously, is lighting our fucking candles, lighting our incense, putting on our playlist if you have one. If you're like me and you're more of a traditional cackle at night witch, then it's dark out or the sun is setting and you're feeling it all and you're feeling ooh. And if you live in an apartment building, you're like, oh, if the neighbors heard me, they'd be so scared. Like, and another part of you is also like afraid that they'll hear you and then like either try to come kill you because they hate witches or like send an angry letter being like, evict these witches. But like, you get into it's all built in the sacredness of our idols, of our statues, of our deities on our altars, all those sensory things that help us tune in and get in tune. And when we don't have them, we feel almost like it's not valid.
Yeah.
It's not substantive. Maybe you're in a position where you're just fucking trying to keep a roof over your head, so you don't have extra money right now for candles, incense, any herbs, any shit right now. You don't have it. And so that's been disheartening for you. And so you're just like feeling disconnection from all of it because of that. You don't need it. You can just do your invocations, if you have devotionals, do your devotionals. That all matters more to us than it will ever mean to them.
Exactly.
Do they like offerings?
Of course.
Yes. Yes. They love offerings or sacrifices. They fucking love it. It feeds them. We know this. That's how it goes. We work with them. It's very much I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Hey, I'm invoking you for your help. I am offering you this, this, and this for your blessings and aid. In exchange, I gave you these things you like. In exchange, help a bro out.
Exactly.
Help a girl out. Like that is help a they them out. Like that is how that works. Let's just be honest. It's booms back and forth. Yes, there is a relationship of love and devotion there. And I do not question that HEKA-TEA loves the fucking shit out of me. I don't question it. I don't question that something more they love the shit out of me. I don't question that any of my deities love the shit out of me. I know that they do. But I'm also not blind to the kind of relationship I have with them.
Mm-hmm. Unlike some people.
Yes.
Which we spoke about a couple episodes ago.
I am not blind about the relationship that I have with them.
No.
Yes, I know that there is love and shit there. But I also know that if I'm no longer coming to them to work with them, with shit, they're not necessarily gonna come hit me up either. They're gonna be like, all right, like, I guess that's that.
Right.
And they might piece the fuck out. Your altars have been sitting there forever collecting dust.
Exactly.
Piled and shit on them, which you should never let happen. Never let that shit happen. I think that
they would rather not have an altar in your home than to have that happen.
Bingo.
Because there's been plenty of times that my deities, whom I've been close to since childhood, didn't have a physical space in my home, but they always knew that they had one in my heart.
Yeah. If you are the temple, then within you, your soul, your fire, your witchcraft, that is your altar. Absolutely. That is where you carry them.
Yes.
And if we can remember that, especially in times where we might feel most disconnected from deity, if we can remember that, then that can go a long way in helping to kind of reignite that spark of connection.
Yes.
But Marcus, what if I'm not sure about God? What if I am a witch, but I'm agnostic and I don't work with deities? I'm not even really sure if they're out there. I know that there's elemental energies and the forces of nature and energetic fields, and that's what I work with and blah, blah, blah. And I go through this too, where I just feel like nothing's working and I'm not connecting with anything. Like, what then? Okay. Yes. That happens. Yeah. That's witchcraft. Yes, that's all you're describing is like that is taking the religious aspect, the devotional and deific aspect out of being a witch, out of the part about the pagan part about being a witch.
Just the witchcraft.
It's just the witchcraft.
And of course, that is our own power. It flows from us. So of course it can also ebb from us at times.
Yes, and other people can leech it.
Yes.
If you don't have your guard up, if you don't have your shield up. And anyone can do it. It can just be the stress of the job every day. Like you clock in and it's just the job that you're doing takes so much out of you that your energy is spent. Literally your job requires energy to get it done, physical energy, and some jobs more than others. But we're all having to produce energy, and it's all magical, it's all real, it's all electrical, it's all electricity, our thoughts, our synapses. These are all actual electrical impulses that are measured, actual tangible energy that scientists are now finding, as we said, reflects that they can find actually in people who practice magic when they go into certain states of being or cast spells or hexes. So there is something that is physically conducted and generated and can be spent by just the mundanity of life, the modernity of life, can take it all away. And the next thing you know, you couldn't do a spell to find your fucking keys to save your goddamn life. Like, it just isn't happening. Your most easiest spells you got in your repertoire, it might as well be fucking stereo instructions.
Right.
You can't fucking do it. You don't have the energy to do it. And so you can get disheartened.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, yeah. Oh.
And I was just going to say, like, when you hit those walls at that point, it's also okay for you to rest.
Yes. And we don't talk enough about that in witchcraft, is the ability to rest. Remember, the natural order of nature, well, that's redundant. The order of nature and mammal creatures specifically, it's hibernation.
Mm-hmm.
So many of mammalic life hibernates. We feel it, the urge to hibernate as mammals. We feel the urge to hibernate. And we don't live in a society, a world, a culture, and haven't for eons now, that has actually allowed us that.
Yes.
To recharge. Especially if you're a certain socioeconomic, racial, marginalized, queer, etc. background. Like, bitch, you work until you drop dead, probably.
Right, exactly.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And that fucking sucks. And it takes a lot, and it spends a lot of ourselves and demands a lot of ourselves, and then we don't rest. How many, especially in heterosexual couples, how many where the wife basically busts her ass
every day
from sunup to sunset, from start to finish, and taking care of everything around the house, taking care of the kids, taking care of the husband. Well, he does whatever, and then, he packs her dog food for lunch because he doesn't want to ever get asked to pack her lunch again.
Right.
Like, social media is filled with shitty fucking, usually opposite sex partners. And it's both ways. I've seen them where the wife is just shitty and the husband fucking does everything. And the wife is just like, you're a loser man because you're a stay-at-home husband, even though it was her idea for him to be the stay-at-home husband because she didn't want to be the stay-at-home wife and wanted to keep her job. But then she's like, it's my fucking money, and too bad, so sad, and I actually am not even attracted to you because you're a stay-at-home husband and you don't bring in any money, and so you just are pitiful to me. Like, it happens all the fucking time, both ways on social. Like, and so you see husbands posting their wives who treat them like this, and wives who post about their husbands treating them like this. And so you have so many people who, they're the ones who are from start to finish operating in their household while everybody else in the household kind of chills, right? And then if you're single, you live by yourself,
right?
Then you have no one.
Right.
It
you have
is
to do everything because there is no one else to do it. If you don't do it, it's not done.
Correct. And so when this happens, what we can feel that like frustration of the fact that like it isn't like the movies where we can't bibbity bobbity boo things to come to life and clean themselves.
I wish.
And and so when we think about, we can even just think about that. Like when we start thinking about the things that witchcraft doesn't do in real life,
right,
that can then get us to get disheartened or get us to just be like, well, I mean, what's the point? Or is any of it real? Like, if a spell doesn't work because you don't have the energy, but you're still trying to make it happen and it's just not happening, you may be like, was any of it real to begin with? And even though you've done a gazillion spells throughout your life that have all worked and happened how you wanted them to happen, now suddenly it's all being called into, you're calling it all into question because everything feels so immense. And that can happen. SpellCraft is actually going to be dedicated to some methods of getting out of this. So that's why. So we will get into that. It's going to bleed into the next topic.
Right.
But we can also sometimes just have a crisis of faith too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, that's definitely happened to me in the past. Haven't talked about this on the show for a minute, but over the past I don't even want to say how many years it's been, but over the past few years.
Yes.
Because I'm like, I don't want to admit that it's been that long.
Right. Nothing wrong with that. Time takes time.
Right. So, over the past few years, I've been on a very rocky journey with fertility, which is obviously hard for any person to go through.
Yes.
But for me, there's been an added layer to the difficulty, and that is that almost every deity that I have a relationship with has a strong dominion subject matter of fertility and children and regeneration.
Right.
That's just kind of
How they do.
exactly, and that's also the kind of witch that I've always perceived myself to be.
Right.
So, to be trying so hard in that area of my life and it's not working, like it was so hard for me.
You can do this.
I know. It was so hard for me to deal with that on like a religious level, you know?
Yeah.
Because it made me question, like, have I done something to offend them, to make them take away that power from me, you know?
Right.
Which came to receive the message many years later that absolutely was not the case.
No.
But for much of this journey for me, and I have been on kind of an extended sabbatical, what have you, from this, but it's still something that very much like drives my heart and I want to return to it. But for much of this journey, like, and of course you blame yourself so much when you're going through these things. Like that's a natural response. But I think for me, there was a kind of different layer on top of the guilt, because it led me to wonder if like I had pissed off my deities and they didn't want to be with me anymore.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 And I went through that, definitely. I had a situation where I got into a really dark place in my life back in 2009 that led me to moving back to Washington from Arizona. It was just a really horrific heartbreak, just horrendous. It was a heartbreak so intense that I had never felt it before, and I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know. And I wanted to stop feeling. I just wanted to stop feeling. One of the components of witchcraft that I didn't consider before doing what I did was feeling.
Yes.
Emotion, connection, anger, rage, happiness, whatever the emotion that propels a spell, hope, desire, anxiety, whatever the fuck it is, there's emotions there.
Mm-hmm.
There is emotions there that fuel a spell. But in my experience, you need to have not just visualization, you really, beyond anything, because there are people who can't visualize anything in their head. It's literally a medical condition they have. It's about feeling. Spell work is feeling. It's the desire you have for the outcome of that spell. If you're hexing someone, you're probably in a goddamn rage while you're doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, otherwise, why the fuck are you doing it? Like, if you're doing a money spell, probably good chance it's coming from desperation, and you're feeling a deep sense of desperation and need and desire. And there's always an emotion feeling it. But I didn't want to feel shit. I didn't want to give a shit. I didn't want to feel shit. I really didn't want to even care what did or didn't happen to me, good or bad. I just didn't want to feel, because I was feeling so much pain. I was crying constantly. I was in pain constantly. I would have to leave bars, restaurants, etc., any place where any song related to this person came on. And this went on for a very long time. It wasn't just a month after. I felt like an appendage was missing from me. I had never felt heartbreak and heartache and loss of another person through a breakup than I had in this moment. So I did a spell to stop feeling. I did a spell to get rid of the pain and to stop feeling. And I woke up the next day. I got smashed that night, went to bed. I woke up in kind of a groggy daze, not a hangover because I don't get those. But it was just kind of like, I don't know, it was almost like I was in a different body. And I was like, couldn't figure out how my body was worked. It was just like I had been taken out, kind of washed, and then put back in. And I became like dead inside. I don't know how to explain it. And it was like that until 2011. yeah, I just didn't. It was in 2009, and it wasn't until 2011 that I felt again. I could go on a date with someone and really be into it and really like the guy, and then the minute we parted ways, he could have gotten hit by a goddamn car or bus in front of me, and I would have felt nothing. I didn't care if I made people angry at me. I didn't care if everyone thought I was a major bitch, which I was, and it hardened me. The spell continued to harden me. And the more cold I became, and the more cunty I became, and the more ice prince bitch I became. Not that I haven't always been those things. I was also a good friend and a kind, caring person, and I did have emotions and care about things. It's just, when needed, I could also be those things or if pushed wrong. But now I was just that. I would have moments of joy hanging out with people, friends, but it was hollow. And the minute I would go to the bathroom or step outside to smoke a cigarette and be with myself, I would just go back to this whole like, this is so exhausting to just pretend. And I just talked to myself about how bored I was. And in that time, I did no witchcraft. None whatsoever. I kept all of my stuff in a chest, in a steamer trunk. I had no altars. I did no prayers, no hymns. I just existed for like 2 years for like 2 years in this state. And then when I finally started feeling again, because I eventually wanted to feel so bad enough that it kind of broke my own spell. And then boy, did I feel again. I had to relearn how to feel emotions again. And it sucked because it happened in the course of meeting a new person, a new guy, and being all happy that like I was feeling again, yay. And then it ended. And I had to learn how to deal with my fucking pain again. And the van was there for that, both, through all of it. But in that second time, there was, and I remember even saying to her, I just want to do a spell to make it all go away again. I just want to get rid of it. And then I said, but I know I can't do that. I know I can't switch it off, because if I do, my emotions will never come back. It'll never come back. I'll just be dead inside. And that's no way to live. I'm not writing, because at the time I wasn't writing anymore. I wasn't able to create and produce anything. And so I had to feel it all and go through it, which fucking sucked. But then on my journey to try to heal, what did I do? I tried to reconnect with deities. I tried to reconnect with HEKA-TEA. With everyone I was working with at the time, I tried to reconnect as a witch, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen for a long time. No one picked up the fucking phone. And I was like, I've lost it. I walked away, like they walked from me, because I walked from them. Like I became really focused on just trying to numb the pain. So I was going out and partying every night. I don't regret any of it, by the way. I had a blast in my 20s, and for the most part, and it was awesome. And I don't regret any of it, but I did go through this, oh my God, I gave them up for the pleasures of the flesh and the material world. And now they don't want to. I'm just a superficial cunt who just cares about jewelry and fashion. And I mean, I always cared about those things. Like, I always cared about those things. There was nothing different about me other than now I was an adult and I could just spend my own money how I wanted, on what I wanted, when I wanted, and didn't have to answer to anybody for it. But my interest in things never changed. But in that moment, I blamed all of my interests in things on it and used it to be like, well, I became a person of the world, and now they don't want to talk to me anymore because I became a worldly person. Yeah, it was like a year. It wasn't until 2013 when we moved into. It wasn't until we moved into the cottage.
Oh, yes.
In Georgetown. Yeah. That is when we just like suddenly, like, because we didn't have roommates anymore.
Yeah.
It was literally just the two of us and Nikita. So it was just like,
we could do the things that we didn't really feel safe to do living around other people.
Yep. So we witched the fuck out in the house. I mean, we even put on Google Maps and on Facebook. We named our house La Petite Maison Voodoo. Like, it was, we would change the name many times, and every time we changed the house name, it would be another manor, witchy shit. Like, it was always, it became both of our lives. Yeah. And that is when things reconnected.
Yes.
Once I was able to get away from the noise of the normie, mundane, mortal coil world of roommates who didn't know, who would have had a problem with it. I mean, throughout my years, I had so many roommates, and so many of them would have flip the fuck out if they know that I was an actual witch. Most of the time, I had to be in the broom closet with my roommates.
Yeah.
Unless I really got to know them. And then I could come out. And then normally the first thing then they would ask is if I could do a spell for them. And then I'd be like, no. I'm getting my mojo back. So, there's a lot of reasons that we can go through that we can, as witches, feel burnt out and as a result, get disconnected from it. And I think, like you said, there's, like I said, there are some other ideas that we're going to give that you can kind of do to address this in SpellCraft. But I think the biggest and most important thing is to allow yourself to rest.
Yeah.
To recognize the art of being quiet and still in your witchcraft.
Yes.
Maybe right now you just don't have the energy or the time to get as down and witchy as you want with your cackling self. Sometimes you just don't have the time. Maybe there's a bunch of shit going on with your family, with kids. Maybe your in-laws, maybe your parents are elderly and you have to move them into care. Maybe there's just a lot going on. Maybe you have family in the Middle East that is experiencing the violence of genocide right now. Maybe you have family that has been taken by ICE. Maybe you're dealing with that right now. Maybe you're just working 2 or 3 fucking jobs just to survive. And you're only getting 4 hours of sleep a day as it is. It's okay. It happens. It doesn't mean that your gods have walked away from you. And it doesn't mean that you've lost your mojo as a witch. It means that you got to handle your business. You need to handle it. And sometimes handling it means just fucking dealing with it, and the witchcraft and the rituals and the devotionals and the Sabbats and all that shit has to wait. Because in the end, that's really what HEKA-TEA was saying to me. I'm like realizing this right now. I'm like, oh my God. But in the end, that's what she was saying to me when she was saying, handle it. This entire time, and as I even started out with this, I thought she simply just meant, you're a fucking witch. I trust in you to handle it. So handle it. You know what to do. You have the skills. Handle it. But she also meant, handle your life. Handle your business. We'll wait. Your altar will wait.
Right.
The witchcraft, the candles, the wait. The herbs, maybe not. Depending on what you have in the jars, maybe not. And maybe what you've put on the altar, maybe not. So take care of that, because gross. But all in all and otherwise, it's all going to be there waiting for you. Mm-hmm. And in the end, your real altar is in here. In your temple, which is you.
Yes.
We are connected to our deities. We're connected to them and they're connected to us. Their joy, their bounty, their beauty is in the heart that rejoiceth. Mm-hmm. If you're living your best life, maybe you don't have time to be actively witchy, but you know what? You got time to fucking go out to the bar with your friends, or go out to the club, or go to bowling, or whatever the fuck it is you're gonna go do. And that feeds your soul. It makes you happy. It gives you joy. It makes you laugh purely and without conscious. Guess what? It feeds them. It feeds them. It does. And the most that your deities want for you is happiness and love and joy. And yes, there are things they want from you. It is a working relationship.
Of course.
But they want the best for you. And they just want you to be joyful and happy. Your witchcraft feeds them. And joy feeds your witchcraft. These are all things that work together in a tandem. They all work together. And again, if in the end what you are experiencing is a crisis of faith, that is okay too. People go through it all the time. And if this crisis of faith is leading you in another direction, maybe it's leading you away from paganism, but maybe not witchcraft, but maybe it's leading you away from paganism. You're still like, I'm a witch, but like, I don't think deities are for me. I'm just not sure, blah, blah, blah. Fine. If you are like altogether, like being led, even pulled away from not just deity worship from paganism, but from witchcraft in itself, let's say to Christianity, that's fine. Just leave quietly and keep to yourself. Don't start preaching. Don't start spreading the word, spreading the good news. Don't start proselytizing. Don't start coming after other witches and magical practitioners, left-hand pathers, etc., bobbity boo, and now being the fucking problem. Don't go to witchcraft shops protesting. Go quietly, turn in your broomstick, your cauldron, your conical hat.
Just go to church.
Go
and
out
eat
quietly.
your coffee cake.
Yeah. Don't burn your tarot decks.
No.
Don't throw away expensive crystals. Don't fucking do that. Literally, just fucking cleanse them, donate them. Like, just don't fucking resell them for fuck's sake. But you don't need to fucking burn them and all that. That's just a waste. Just don't fucking do that. Another witch can fucking cleanse that shit and use it again. Yes, if you find yourself being pulled to any of the Abrahamic faiths or anything that would condemn witchcraft, paganism, etc., fine. But just please, again, turn in all of your witch accoutrement and go quietly and don't make a fuss. And go into the arms of your beloved Jesus, and at the feet and between the legs of your beloved Yahweh, and leave us in peace. That is all we ask. So, yeah. But again, if that is what is going on, be respectful, but it's okay. Witchcraft isn't for everybody. Paganism isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
Deity worship, deity work isn't for everybody. Maybe you were never meant to be a witch. Maybe it just wasn't for you. Maybe it just didn't come together. It didn't work. Maybe sometimes some spells would work here and there, but for the most part, nothing would happen. You just never felt the connection. You never felt the force. You never had the power. And so you're like, this isn't for me. I just don't think this is for me. That's okay. It doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean anything. Again, please go quietly. Just be respectful. Sorry, witchcraft did not work for you. Not everyone is meant to be a witch. I truly, truly believe that everyone who is meant to be a witch was born a witch. That was their path. No matter the age they came to it. There are people who come to witchcraft in the 50s and 60s and 70s. That's when they discover it and discover themselves. But they were always meant to be. And what usually ends up happening is it's not like they weren't already like throughout their life being like wishing something in their head or imagining something, and then it happened. Yeah. And it wasn't like they weren't hearing thoughts or sensing spirit. Like there's always these things that then when they come to witchcraft, they're like, light bulb, right. Oh my God, it all makes sense. I am home. And now everything
or they're like, I thought everybody did that.
Right. You know? Like, and then they find out, no, just other witches. Like, and then there are people who, because of the craft, because of this thing or that thing or friends, whatever, they get into it. They try it on, and maybe even for a few years they pursue it, but it just never comes together for them. And they're finally just like, this just
isn't my thing.
Isn't my thing. Maybe it works for other people. I know it's worked for me a couple of times. Isn't my thing. Or maybe it's, this is bullshit. It's silly, blah. That is your prerogative. Fine. Don't say that to another fucking witch, because witchcraft is a religious practice. Even in itself, witchcraft is a legally protected religious practice. We take it all, witches take witchcraft seriously. Yeah. Not just the deities we worship or don't worship or whatever.
Our actual craft.
The craft itself we take very fucking seriously. So be respectful when you leave.
Exactly.
But if you are like, this is BS, this didn't work, fine. Go. It's okay. That is normal. It happens. It wasn't for you. You didn't have the power. You didn't have the touch. You couldn't connect. Rubby-dubby-dub. That's how it goes. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being burnt out, with feeling burnt out, with feeling disconnection. Sometimes, and most of the time, you just need to let yourself rest. Any last thoughts on this subject before we get into ways of remedying?
I think I've said everything that I have to say. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. It was nice to get off my chest the fact that I'm feeling horrendously burned out.
Yes, very much.
We have been running around filming the show, going like literally Timbuktu and back, filming, stomping around, being up all goddamn hours. We're simultaneously filming for episodes 3 months away. Yeah. Like, it's just a lot going on.
It is a lot.
And I myself have just had so many passages of celebrations or ritual days or whatever that I just didn't get around to doing, and I have felt guilt about it, and I felt like crap about it.
Absolutely.
And so, but it's normal, and it's part of my job is reminding myself of that. It's part of our jobs is reminding all of us.
Exactly. I mean,
that is normal. The time with your deity that you've been working with is over, and it just has, and they've stepped out, and they're not going to come back. I have deities that's happened with.
Yeah,
that I
absolutely.
will never probably ever hear from again.
Right.
And I will probably never reach out to them again because I don't need to.
Right.
There's no reason to. And they don't need to work with me anymore.
Yeah.
And so if that happens, that's okay. If you're going through that right now, it happens. Breathe. It'll be okay. Just trust in yourself and your witchcraft. And if you really are like, you know, most of the time if that happens, it's because there's another deity who's coming in to work with you anyways.
Right.
So 9 times out of 10, that's what's going on.
And for instance, like you and I have actually both experienced this. Like sometimes we will have a lifelong relationship with one deity, but for whatever reason, we hit a time in our lives where we're walking a path and we're going through a time in life that they cannot personally walk with us. So they tap in someone else.
Correct.
Who can.
And I've experienced that three times. Luckily, the other 2 times, they were all related to each other.
Right.
The deities.
Yeah.
so they were just tapping in cousins.
Right.
But HEKA-TEA, and I talked about this, was the first one to tap in someone else.
Yeah.
Because now I was a 16-year-old hot raver twink. And I needed some fun, feisty, troublesome, male, queer energy that it was a different kind of guidance that I needed. And she didn't go away. Like, she was always present, but she's fucking HEKA-TEA for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? Sometimes she's just like, I just don't need to be bothered. Like, she's like, I'm here, but don't fucking look at me. I'm in the corner.
Exactly.
I'm in the corner. I got a glass of wine. I got a joint. I got my sunglasses on, my Chanel's. Like, she's like, I'm here. If you really need me, bitch, I will get up off this chair. And I can do it all without putting down my drink or my joint. But until that happens, I'm sitting here enjoying my drink and my joint. And that's how it was for a few years.
Yeah.
And that's just that. Now, did things happen in that time where she had to step back in and handle it because no one else could handle it like her?
Yes, of course.
Absolutely. But for the most part, it was then fucking Lakshmi and Vishnu, Ganesh. There was a few years where she was like, I was on a journey that I needed to go on with certain deities, and I was in certain parts of my life that I needed their guidance. And so she tapped them in because that was what they had to do. So if you're experiencing that where a deity you've worked with for a very long time has stepped out and you know they're not coming back, you've heard them say, bitch, I'm not coming back.
Right.
It's okay. Breathe. Because before you know it, and believe it or not, you're going to fucking meet someone else, because usually it means another deity's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, again, if it is a true just crisis of faith, just a big question of things, and you just need to take a step back and figure it all out, that's okay too. And they're not going to abandon you, even in that. They're not going to walk away from you most of the time anyways, unless you walk away first.
Right.
And you stop calling. You stop lighting the candles. You stop doing all the shit. You stop calling them in your heart. That's when they'll stop. Usually that's when they piece the fuck out. So, anyway. We are going to go ahead and get a little reprieve by reviewing you know what? Exactly. And then once we do that, we'll have SpellCraft. We'll talk about some solutions and tricks and tips and tricks, to combat some of this and maybe get back in touch with your witchcraft and your mojo. So
also, before we do that, as a bitch who just cried on the camera,
yes,
I have to say kudos to my eyeliner because she did not budge at all.
No, actually I was actually thinking about that. It was very fucking impressive. And it's time to once again return to the very complicated and still always misty and still always damp world of Greendale. And thankfully, no Kinkle and Co. this episode to join Sabrina Spellman, Hilda and Zelda and Ambrose Spellman, and a lot of Salem this time, and the rest of the Church of Night for the chilling adventures of Sabrina the Rewatch.
Woo!
Chapter 16, Blackwood. So, in this episode, Zelda and Father Blackwood are preparing for their wedding, even though nobody wants it to fucking happen.
Including the two of them.
Yeah. Zelda convinces Father Blackwood to lift his excommunication on Hilda since she is the maid of dishonor, and that way now she can rejoin the Church of Night and go to the wedding. Now, the Dark Lord doesn't give a shit about the Church of Night or its followers. Because Sabrina has a prophecy to fulfill and a path to fulfill. And in order to do that, she needs to destroy the Church of Night and bring it down. So yeah, there's that. And so he goes to Miss Wardwell, or Lilith, and is like, bitch, get this shit together. So
Lick my hoof.
yeah, so Lilith does a glamour to show up as Sabrina's father, Edward's ghost, in which he then claims that Father Blackwood murdered her parents to prevent Edward from promoting his reformist manifesto to the anti-pope, whose Vatican is in the catacombs of the Vatican. So yeah, anyway, he lives amongst all the skulls and bones that are beneath the Vatican, and that's his anti-church and whatever blah blah Christian shit. So in this reformist manifesto, Edward was like, mortals and witches should mate, should be together, blah blah blah. It's, yeah, again, it's all like, we are children of Satan, they're children of God, we are still upon the same earth, and we have a duty to do it. That was basically it.
Yeah.
So Father Blackwood, though, plans to present his own misogynistic manifesto to the anti-pope, who is there to marry him and Zelda. And the anti-pope, though, really had a thing for Edward and teenage girls. So he is all into Sabrina and her platinum blonde hair in Edward's manifesto, because he clearly had a thing for Edward too, and I'm sure he probably slept with Edward. This, of course, confirms Ambrose's suspicions about Father Blackwood. Some conversations have occurred. As we know, Ambrose has been entered into the Judas Society. Luke is now dead. He was doing work for Father Blackwood. Apparently, boys who become close to Father Blackwood in the Judas Society all end up dead or disappear.
I wonder how that happened.
Because Father Blackwood is in the closet and deeply repressed, and he has to kill the thing he loves the most, which are young men. And so he kills them because he doesn't want people finding out that he likes young men, because he's a big misogynistic homophobe, including with himself. You're like, wait, what? I don't remember this being a plot. Yeah, it's called Gay Eyes. Read between the lines. Anyway. Lady Blackwood's ghost, Constance Blackwood, she comes to haunt Zelda. So Hilda, as the Maid of Dishonor, does something that I enjoy doing quite often, actually, which is trapping a ghost. And luckily, she doesn't have to trap her and actually trap her. She traps her to sit her down for a conversation and gets her to move on.
Yeah.
Through that conversation, though, she finds out that once again, Sister Jackson, the bitch who got the earworm, who had to go up onto the thing and almost die, blah, by Zelda, who was like, she was like blackballing and hazing Zelda. Turns out she's the one who summoned Constance's spirit and told her that it was Hilda's fault that she died, or Zelda's fault that she died, all this fucking shit that wasn't true. So, cute Hilda invites Sister Jackson over for tea and biscuits, and the biscuits have cyanide in them, and she's gone. Sister Jackson's gone.
Iconic scene, by the way.
Iconic indeed. With Nick Scratch's help, Sabrina is able to recover the manifesto of Edward's in the bottom of the ocean. They then present it to the anti-pope, and the anti-pope is like, cool, I'll consider it both. And also, I like teens, because he couldn't make that hidden enough that he was into teen girls and boys, and because the anti-pope was a big pervert, apparently. Right. And in fact, they even say at one point, they reference that he's a big old perv.
I wonder if the Pope and the anti-Pope ever did it.
Probably. It's probably how you become the Pope and the anti-Pope. You have to fuck each other, and that's how it happens.
I mean, there's a reason one lives upstairs and one lives downstairs, but it's the same house,
it's
you know
true.
what I mean?
We all saw Downton. All right. So Father Ambrose frames Father Blackwood frames Ambrose and the two other boys guarding the anti-pope for murder of the anti-pope, because he gifted them all familiars, and those familiars crawled into the boys and then controlled them to do their shit. Ambrose ends up puking up his familiar Leviathan, and that's how Dorian Gray and his blonde locks help reveal that case. So let's see. Ambrose goes into hiding. Father Blackwood legitimizes Prudence and Steed in order to basically have familial support and to kind of secure his own will, because let's face it, he doesn't give a shit about Prudence. No. Sabrina and Nick do a glamour posing as the ghosts of Diana and Edward to disrupt the wedding of Zelda and Father Blackwood. Father Blackwood sees through it, and he he dispels the glamour and expels them from school. Ambrose appears and attempts to murder Father Blackwood because he had to be like, die, Father Blackwood, and make a big production instead of just doing it fucking silently and jumping on the fucker and stabbing him before saying anything. But drama. So he gets thrown into some kind of pit that looks like a forest, but it's like basically a like solitary confinement situation. Let's see. Father Blackwood and Zelda depart as a married couple with the anti-pope's remains to return to the Vatican necropolis, which then they'll honeymoon. Sabrina and Hilda watch this from across the street of the abandoned church that is the Church of Night, in tears for Zelda because the reality of her marriage to Father Blackwood comes into play, in which he reminds Zelda as they're leaving that the wife of the high priest walks behind him. And then he said, you forget yourself, Zelda. The duties and obligations of the wife of the high priest is that she walks behind him several steps. So she does. Mm-hmm. And it is a demeaning and shameful, but also deserving situation because cunt, she fucking deserved it. I'm sorry, but she did. Like, she betrayed her family. She did not have their backs. She gave it all up for power. That's all she cared about. She doesn't even love Father Blackwood. She doesn't really even give a shit about it. She's turned on by the power and the spankings and the punishments, the BDSM they share. And she herself just wants to be in charge and run the academy. That's it. That's it. It was, you know, your proximity to power, proximity to control. That's all that she cared about. And so she betrayed her entire family to obtain it. So yeah, that sucked.
Also, she was blinded by spankings.
Tons of spankings. So glad that Kinkle and Co were not in this fucking episode. Oh my god, the show just it's just so much better and flows easier when it's literally just focused on the witches. It's better. The mortal connection, the need for the mortal friends, Baxter High, all of that, like, just drags it the fuck down. It doesn't even make sense at this point. She's not going there. Right. Like, but whatever. She's returning. Theo has to like date an elf boy who, you know, likes all things, and all people, in all ways and days. Yeah, much more enjoyable episode given no Kinkle and Co. But
yeah, but don't fear not, they will return
next episode. And boy, from what I remember in the description I just read to remind me of it, they will not disappoint in their disappointment. So there we have it.
There we have it indeed.
Chilling Adventures of Sabrina rewatch. Blackwood.
Woo!
So now, of course, it's time for SpellCraft. And the topic, what do you do when you're feeling this burnout? What do you do? How do you handle it? What are some of the tips and tricks that you can do to kind of get your groove back, Stella? Clean your altar. Clean your fucking altar.
Such a big one.
And what I mean by that, you're like, hold on, Marcus. Like, I am not even feeling it. Now you want me to go over and clean it? Yeah. If you want to reconnect with deity, get all that fucking incense powder off of it.
Yes.
Get all the ash off of it. The wax. Clean. Now, obviously, don't clean the altar cloth. That is imbued with magic. The wax on it, like, that's all special. Maybe try to get some of the excess wax off of it. But obviously, you're not going to throw it in the washer and dryer. Like, don't ever fucking do that. No. But, like, for example, I just got done deep cleaning Santa Muerte's altar yesterday. And then I finished by finishing off with new devotionals to finish and cap it off today. But I haven't done devotionals in weeks, like a couple of weeks. I haven't had time. I've been burnt the fuck out.
I've been the same way with her, actually.
It's just dust, and it was just not looking good. And she, of course, has had so many offerings given her that she was like kind of gross. Like, she needed to be cleaned off, and just everything needed to be. So what did I do? I took everything off. Then I took a sponge with just warm water, wiped it all down, got it all the grime, just because it was gross, and, you know, dribblings from like booze and Mexican Coca-Cola and wine and just all the things, like, just had to get clean, the ash.
For her, wine and coffee is like the biggest one for me.
And cleaned all that off. Then I used Lysol disinfecting wipes. You can use disinfecting bleach wipes. That's fine. Yes, don't use like Pine Sol or anything. Like, don't use that kind of cleaner, but you can use like Lysol disinfecting wipes.
Right.
So I went ahead and just cleaned it all off. Then I have this blessed water. It's a combination of seawater, rainwater, Florida water, and some lake water, and bay water, and it's all mixed together, blessed. And I mist all that down. Then I wipe her off with a Lysol cleaner wipe. Just gently get her wiped off. Careful of the jewelry. Also wipe off the jewelry, anything that she's adorned with. Clean it off. Then I sprayed her down with the combination with the powerful super holy water is what I'll call it. The super holy water. Sprayed her down with the super holy water. I did it with the candles. I did it with her incense dish. I did it with literally her offering, everything. Cleaned everything down. And while I was doing it, I was listening to my playlist that I have for her.
Exactly.
I was talking to her. I was apologizing for letting it get gross. I was just literally having conversation with her.
Yeah.
I was sitting down with her like she was my abuela, and I was having conversation, and we were having hot chocolate, or in our case, we were having a nice stiff margarita.
Right.
And let's just face it, she was just doing straight tequila shots. And we were just having a talk, sharing some weed while I cleaned, and just
kicking it.
Yeah. And then I re-anointed her with marijuana and with alcohol and Florida water, and just got her all re-anointed. And then today, I gave her a dish of apples, and I gave her a bottle of Mexican Coca-Cola, and I did have to obviously finish. We had this show to do, so I didn't. And I had other stuff I had to do today throughout the house because my mother today's the 14th. This is airing. You're watching this, which means that tomorrow, the 15th of July, my mother is arriving.
She will be descending.
Yes, so I am focused on getting the house ready for that. She's not staying with me. Praise HEKA-TEA, but she will still be in my house a lot, and we don't need that judging. Exactly. So clean the altar. Make ritual out of cleaning the altar because it should be anyways. Mm-hmm. And that I will tell you, I felt great
absolutely.
reconnection happening, and just not that I felt abandoned from her, but it just, again, I've been so burnt out that I've ignored my devotionals. I've ignored the rituals that I do and the respect that I have shown and given, because things get in the way. Life gets in the way.
Exactly. Also, kind of in that same vein, but one thing that I find helping me with that, like aside from actual like deep cleaning, which is also very important,
yes.
But I really like to do an altar redesign every now and again, and just kind of with their permission, obviously.
Yeah.
But kind of if I'm feeling like they are like wanting things to be a little different on the altar, which can happen sometimes.
Yes, it can. Yes. Santa Muerte is famous for being like, change my shit.
Yeah. I really like to not light the candles, but at least like have some incense going, put on their playlist, and just kind of play around with where things are at. Maybe sometimes even taking everything off and then putting it back and sort of asking for guidance as to where they would like their things on the new setup. And every single time that I've ever done this, it's resulted in a space that's more beautiful than anything that I could have designed with my own brain.
Right.
And,
so that's one way. Clean your altars and make ritual out of the cleaning of them. And I can commune and speak with them on the real. And yeah, you can do hymnals or invocations or stuff while you're cleaning. Or you can just fucking talk to them.
Yeah.
And just say, hey, this is what's been going on in my life. Another thing, if like, say you're agnostic, like we said, or an atheistic witch, and so you're just like energy, like it's just, that's not, you don't got deities. That's not what you do. You just have your working altar, your shit, but you're not connecting with your witchcraft. You're not fucking feeling it, right? You're just like, what the fuck do I do? The simplest thing you can do, get outside. Get outside.
With the earth.
Yes. Yes, go to a park and you can fucking hug a tree. And if you don't care that people are gonna be looking at you like a crazy motherfucker, like fucking you hug that tree. You hug that tree until you feel a connection. But for most people, if I need it, my big charge is I'll go down to the water.
Oh yeah.
I will walk 1.3 miles down to the waterfront and connect to the water. Or my partner and I will go to the beach and go to we'll drive to the ocean. And I will run into the ocean and just
I'll sit on my back porch and charge myself in the sun.
Yes. Like, go to go to a park and just lay in the grass and be still with the grass and just lay there and connect with it. Allow yourself to be aware of your body and aware of every part of your body that's touching the grass. And then think and remember that connection. And just thinking about it will jumpstart your witchcraft to start
100%,
connecting you with it.
Yeah.
It's just like those things of like, if you are a witch who has any mediumship, clairvoyant, spirit contact power, then you will understand this, how you have to be mindful of even just watching like ghost investigation shit or haunted location shit, because that's all energy, it's all electricity, it's all waves, radio waves, television waves, it's all shit that connects. And so even though you're watching something that was maybe filmed investigating the Whaley house, and that was, you know, filmed years ago, it was still filmed at that location. All that is in the print. The energy, your psychic energy is connecting psychically to the location through it, and because you're thinking of it. And the next thing you know, a ghost who haunts a fucking house thousands of miles away from you is now bugging you in your fucking home. Like, it happens. And so you have to gird your loins against it.
Yeah.
And, you know, so, but that's just because you're sitting there thinking about it and not thinking about protecting yourself, and you can connect. Same thing with this. Just feel the grass, feel the earth, the sea, hug that fucking tree, and allow yourself to be aware of every part of your body that is touching it. And then think about the fact that your body is made up of has all these pores that are open and absorb. And that in the end, we're all just fucking electrons and neutrons. We're all particles. We're just particles swirling around, connected. And so is everything else. And you can become part of that cyclone of connection and particle and energy. You already are all the time. You're just not thinking about it because you're not passing through it. And so you forget that there are still bits of your particles connecting to the particles in the wood of this table, or in this marble, or in this fucking lavender.
Yeah.
It's all there. So when you can start reminding yourself of that, you remind your witchcraft of that. And just by the process of thought, you begin to tune yourself into it. If you can just allow yourself the quiet and peace to do so. If you can't get out, you can't do that. Like, sit open. Let's say you don't have a patio, a terrace, a back porch, you don't have outdoor space. Open the damn windows and just lay in the sunlight on your floor.
Exactly.
Look at the trees outside your window and watch them blow, or the cacti, where the fuck you're seeing. But allow yourself the moments to just reconnect with what it means to be a witch on the most basic level, and what witchcraft is at its most basic level, which is connecting with all the elements, all the energies that are around you and within you, above and below, and bringing it together to make your will manifest to reality, and from the ephemeral, from the ethereal to the physical. And the easiest way to do that is just fucking touch some grass, put your feet in some seawater, hug a tree, bask in the sunlight, the moonlight, but be alone with it and just appreciate it. Don't force it. Don't be like, come on, I need to feel this like witchy connection with the earth or with the moon or the water or whatever. Don't force it. Just
sit with it.
Sit with it and appreciate it. And touch it. If it's the sea, and let's say you're like me and you don't necessarily just want to be hanging out in the water the entire time, then just get up back and forth and go back and forth in your towel. Go back into the water for a little bit. Put your hands in it. Touch it. Go lay back down. Just look at it. Appreciate it. Get back up. Go touch it again. Be with it again. But never stop connecting with the waves and the crashing sea, or the winds blowing through the forest and the trees, if that's where you're at, whatever it is that you're doing. But just that alone will give a big jump start to your witchcraft.
Oh, 100%.
Literally, sometimes it's the smallest thing. And yeah, that can even include cleaning.
Yes.
Especially your altars, which you should just be cleaning anyways.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
respect. That is the seat of your deities when they come to your home.
Exactly.
That is like that is their chair, basically. That is where they sit when they enter your home. That is where you go, please take a seat, and they take a seat. It's their altar. Clean it.
Exactly. And let's say you're a witch who does not work with deity. You are just you and your own witchcraft.
Still clean your altar.
Yeah.
Your working altar.
yeah.
So there you have it.
There you have it. Leslie submitted for this Witchy Media review on this new moon in Cancer. We present to you, Are You Afraid of the Darks? The Tale of the Quicksilver.
Two boys, Aaron and Doug, move into a new home with their mom and dad, once belonging to a girl named Laura Turner and her twin sister, Connie. Little do they know that a tragic fire took the life of Laura Turner, or so everyone thought. The truth was, the home was haunted by a dark and evil spirit. Laura Turner, being a witch, apparently, though we're never told how or why, does a spell to summon the dark spirit and trap it. But the spell goes wrong. She does something wrong. And instead of getting rid of the spirit, the candle is knocked over, the room catches on fire, and she dies. Now, she is a ghost haunting the house that Doug and Aaron Johnston, who, by the way, definitely in no way look like they would be a Johnston. Clearly, they were written for like blonde hair, blue-eyed boys, and that's not who they cast, which is great, but the names now are ridiculous. Anyways, and Connie. Connie, who named their kid Connie. It's just, anyway, I digress. So, she has died in 1992. Now it is 1994. Been a couple years. Doug and Aaron are trying to get along in this house, but strange things are happening. Really badly painted, professionally done green Q, like it belongs on Sesame Street, keeps appearing on their walls. There's a cold breeze a-coming. And yeah, just a lot going on. So the boy, Doug, the youngest one, he gets a book on ghosts. It is a gray book. It just says ghosts on it. There is no author.
Nope.
But in this book, he discovers that there are lady poltergeists, lady ghosts, and lady ghosts are called quicksilvers. And you know a lady ghost because they leave a Q everywhere. Apparently a very well stenciled, brat green, puke green Q on the wall.
Poltergeist. Friendly spirits. Yeah, right. Quicksilver. A teenage girl poltergeist known for leaving the letter Q wherever they haunt. Q? There was a...
But she does it anyways.
I decided this is because lady ghosts are queens.
Yes, they are queens. Especially this one, because she's played by Tatiana Ali. And if you are old enough to know Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, then you know what the fuck I'm talking about. So yeah, she was big back then. Tatiana Ali. So anyway, love her. Anyway, so I know it's a lot of snapping. Sorry.
It was.
I'm a bitch. I'm just a bitch, and I like to snap a lot. Always done it.
I can only snap with my left hand.
See, the reason why I've always snapped, it actually wasn't because I was just trying to be sassy. It was because it was like the only thing I could do. Because my brother could whistle, and I could not whistle.
Same.
He could also snap. I mean, fuck him. But I could snap.
Yeah.
So I just would like snap all the time. So now it just became a thing. And someone's like, oh my God, you're just trying to be like stereotypical cunty bit. No, I just started, I just like to snap. Anyway, I incorporate snapping a lot in spell work, actually. I'm like, I snap a lot. It's a thing. Anyway, so at their new school, the older one, Aaron, he runs into this girl, Connie Turner, and she looks exactly like this chick in this yearbook that was found in the baseboard with some singes on it and that same meticulous green professional Q around her face. And she was named Laura Turner, Tatiana Ali. Connie is also Tatiana Ali. What does it mean? Twins. Do we get an explanation into the spell book that Laura has and used? No. I therefore firmly believe that it's just because the Turners are witches. It was just their spell book.
Yeah.
Why say this? Because when Connie reveals how Laura died and everything and like reveals the spell book and shit, they're like, oh, you have this? And she's like, my mom couldn't bear to throw it away when she died. What mother would keep like their children's like candles and cauldron and incense and herbs and spell book and wand and crystals? Like, what parent, unless they're a witch, is going to be like, I can't bear to throw this shit away or get rid of it. I'm going to keep all this sacred magical shit.
Especially if your daughter died doing witchcraft.
Yeah. Therefore, witches.
This is it. This is the stuff Laura used in my dream.
Mom didn't have the heart to throw them away. What are you gonna do?
We're gonna finish what Laura started.
Clearly. So that's just that. And that wasn't even the lesson of the story. The lesson of the story, and that was being presented at the beginning around the fire with the Midnight Society, was the fact of that you can fuck spells up if you don't do them correctly.
Mhm.
That was the message. Just
Yes.
don't fuck with spells if you're not going to do it right. Like, back the fuck off. And if you aren't sure what you're doing, back the fuck off. Triple check all your shit and make sure that you're not using stainless steel when you should be using silver. This is the situation that landed Miss Laura Turner into Poltergeist land as a Quicksilver, was because she picked silverware, a spoon, and stuck it in an oak branch, because that was part of the spell, or it was an oak. And, but she was like, silverware. Well, it was stainless steel. So make sure you read the stamp on things, and that it says 925. And not stainless steel or SS. Actually, avoid anything that says SS, especially in this day and age.
That's
and if it's got a shoulder patch, run. But of course, they solved it.
We did.
Aaron, he had a necklace, wings, from his grandfather, and they were made of silver. So he put it on the willow or the oak stick, and then they were able to say, Arborio Artis Loco Ardet. I command you, enter this amulet. So, it's, by the way, when I told Evan about this episode, I was like, oh, we can watch this for Witchy Media Review. I have not watched this episode probably since the 90s, but since the 90s, I have remembered that fucking spell, and I have like repeated it randomly in my life for no reason. Just like I'll sit there and randomly like, oh, Katara, I command you, enter this amulet. Like, I'll just sit there and fucking do it. So I just like warned her. I was like, by the way, there's a spell in it. And yeah, earworm. So anyway, obviously problem solved. Connie finally sees her sister's ghost, and she's like, I miss you. And her sister's just like, cool, give me the crystal that has this fucker in it who killed me. Like, she's like, it's not over till I say it's over. Hand me that fucking crystal. Then she gets the crystal, and she's like, I miss you. She's like, yeah, bitch. And then she like walks away, and she turns, she just kind of gives this look, this like, I'm so glad I'm dead, and I'm so glad I don't have to see your fucking face anymore. I am so happy in the afterlife. Here, I am not the youngest twin. I am the only sister. Or the only daughter. Like, that's what it is. Like, it was just like, so, it was just silly.
Like, I just feel like Connie was the older twin and she abused that with Laura. 100%.
I agree. And that's why Laura was like, fine, I'll fucking banish this ghost myself.
Exactly.
With our family spell book that you clearly don't give a shit about, because Connie, you just want to be popular. Well, I hope you enjoy being popular when I'm dead. Like, that's kind of what happened. No, I don't know.
Well, I just want to be celestial.
Yeah, exactly. She got other shit to do and other places to be. All right.
I want a spin-off episode just about Laura's life as a ghost.
Same. Canada, get on that. All right. What do I give the tale? Are You Afraid of the Dark? The Tale of the Quicksilver. If I'm honest, I mean, the acting's not terrible.
No,
the script is bad,
real
though.
bad.
The script is really bad. And the sad reality is most Are You Afraid of the Dark scripts are really bad. So it's like, how do you judge an Are You Afraid of the Dark? Or any of these Nickelodeon kid shows, or really any... Are there better Are You Afraid of the Dark episodes? Yes. So in terms of scales of Are You Afraid of the Dark moons...
Are you afraid of the dark moon?
I am going to give the Tale of the Quicksilver an Are You Afraid of the Waxing Gibbous Moon? How about you? What are you feeling for the Tale of the Quicksilver? See, it's hard to rate these shows
because it's like
they're not great.
Yeah, exactly. And you can remember like watching it as a kid, and at that time it would have been like full ass moon, you know?
Yeah.
But then you're watching it now as an adult and with more discerning eyes as you've aged.
Yes.
So you can't quite give it a full moon.
No.
And then it's like, are we...
Like, I know that there are some episodes that I will definitely give a full moon.
Yeah.
That I know if I was... But there are episodes that we also probably would never watch for the show because they're not witchcraft related in any way.
So as an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark, I would give it... I think I'm with you as well.
Waxing. Are you afraid of the waxing gibbous moon? Yeah.
However, if you had to ask me if I was just judging it as a Witchy Media, I think it would be less.
I mean, yeah, if I'm judging it on a Witchy Media review level, I'm giving it as children's, keeping in mind it's children's entertainment, because you have to keep that in mind.
That's true.
And it is a show, it's only 25 minutes without commercial breaks.
Right.
So, keeping all that in mind, I would give it a waxing crescent, but it would not be a very chunky crescent moon.
No.
It wouldn't also be a sliver.
No.
It would be like a healthy stereotypical crescent.
Like what you see when you type the emoji.
Exactly. That is what that is what I'm giving. If I'm basing it as like Witchy Media in itself, then it's a waxing crescent, and it's a standard waxing crescent.
Because it's not like it's a dark moon at all, because it's still enjoyable to watch, and it's still fun.
Are You Afraid of the Dark level, I'm giving it a waxing gibbous.
Yes.
It's one of the better episodes. I like that there was actual, like there was candles, there were herbs, there were spells, there was
I like that
witchy
too.
accoutrement. See, but then I do that, and I'm like, oh, maybe I need to give it a little fuller of a crescent, because especially back then,
that's true.
You didn't always. That's not what you always. You just usually just saw a spell book and maybe a wand, or maybe a thing, and that was it. Like there was not like we're gonna have candles and herbs draw a fucking door to the spirit realm.
Yeah, that is true. That's legit.
So I would say I'll give it a fatty crescent as a witchy piece of media to entertain children.
Exactly.
As a Are You Afraid of the Dark? Waxing gibbous, because it is one of the better Are You Afraid of the Dark ones, and is more intelligent than some of them.
Exactly. I actually never, or at least as I'm watching it today, I don't remember seeing this particular episode when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I did watch Are You Afraid of the Dark, and I loved it.
Yeah.
But it was, for me, like, I didn't have TV in my home growing up, so it was definitely like when I would be over at relatives' house and I would get the occasion to watch TV, which always was not the case for me. So it was very much like, with a lot of shows from that era, like it was very like I watched them, but it was, few and far between random episodes, I never watched anything straight through really. So I did not actually see this particular episode, but I will say, having gotten into like the conversation about how it is as a piece of witchy media, I think that like as a young little witch, if I had seen this particular episode, I think I would have been very comforted to see all of those things.
And as a young witch who did watch it, I will tell you for sure that that's exactly what I felt. It was one of those things. It was one of my favorite episodes, and whenever it got replayed, I would get excited because there was spell shit there.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. All right. So there you have it. Sometimes you're just fucking burnt out.
Yes.
And it happens to the best of us, and the wickedest of us, and the witchiest of us.
Exactly.
All right. Please let us know in the comments what you do when you feel magically burnt out. We would love to hear from you. If you have any thoughts on this episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark, or if you have any other suggestions for us for Witchy Media review, again, books, spell books, novels, music, movies, TV shows, documentaries, one-offs, anything media and witchcraft related, sometimes no matter how slim the connection, we will review it. So give us some options.
Butter.
Yes. Also, if you like what you see, you know the drill, help a witch out. Like, comment, subscribe, hype, and share. And as always, witches, remember, broomsticks, not just for cleaning.